the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man, back and slimmer than ever, The Monty Show. 15 pounds lighter from the butt rootering, Jake.
There you go.
Good to see you guys. Pleasure to be back with you. I missed you so much. Apparently, all the Colorado Twitter people miss me as well. As usual here on The Monty Show. The Monty Show.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. We're presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, where you never pay until the advocates win your case. So did you get hurt at work? There's no consultation fee. There's no big retainer. Did somebody hit you because they were driving distracted? Did somebody drive through your brand new creek here in the state of Utah and slam into your tree? Well, that's not your fault. You didn't deserve to get in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. Chat with an attorney live online for free at theadvocates.com. Seriously, I say, a real pleasure to be back in the hizzy with y'all. After 2 days of pooping and butt coring, we will talk all about the colonoscopy later in the show. A rousing success.
Think that's HIPAA?
Well, there's no doubt it's
right.
HIPAA. There's no doubt it is HIPAA. But we will talk about that. Don't forget that Alema Harrington from our friends at TryDayTrading.com. TryDayTrading.com will join us at 4:15. Got to ask him about Jordan Clarkson. A lot of jazz and NBA coming up in hour number 2. But what would the good old Monty program be if we didn't start with As the Pac-12 Turns? So I take 2 days off the show, and lying guy on Twitter melts down and claims that Colorado is leaving for the Big 12 on Monday. To which I say, we've never reported that on this show. And the latest on Colorado is that Colorado has a Board of Regents meeting on Monday. That does not mean that they are headed to the Big 12. From what Jake and I have been able to gather today, they are not close to making a decision. They, from what we are told, will not be taking a vote directly on should we join the Big 12.
Pack your shit. Let's go.
None of that is happening on Monday. And I want to make it clear, one of the things that we get into on this show is, well, hey, that guy over there said this, so you guys are a bag of dicks. Well, let's get this really straight. We have never reported that Colorado was leaving for the Big 12 imminently. We have told you straight away, Colorado has had conversations with the Big 12. We told you that. We have been saying that for 6 to 8 weeks now. We have told you that Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado, in our knowledge from our sources, have told us that those schools have had direct conversations with the Big 12 about joining the Big 12 Conference. We have told you that certainly Gonzaga basketball has a verbal invitation to start the process of joining the Big 12. That's what we've reported. We have not had any athletic directors from any school attacking us on the old tweet machine, which is what happened yesterday. And again, I don't say this to toot our own horns or any of that. But what I tell you every day on this show is watch who you get your news from. Maybe is the best way to say that. Because I think what you're seeing is everybody's trying to be an insider and have sources. I don't say it just to be flip or, hey, look at me. We bust our ass on this show to confirm all of the sourcing that we get long before it ever gets into our members-only group on Instagram and right here on the showroom. It's not something that we do lightly. It's something we take very seriously. And I will even tell you, if you follow me on Twitter, The Monty Show, you know we had quite the spat with Utah Pig Bus, who is maybe the most passionate Utah fan in the world. And I just, the place where I get across the line is when you start comparing us to, like he's comparing us to whoever this Swaim guy is.
So you better check yourself.
Swaim has begged us to come on and be a guest on this show multiple times.
Yeah.
Hey, come on my show. Let me be a guest on your show. We don't do that, right? And this guy in West Virginia is asked to be a guest on our show repeatedly. There's a reason, And we talked about this with Golden Blue Dude a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
There's a reason we don't do collabs with many people, beyond the fact that we just don't have the time, if we're being honest. Secondarily is we don't believe in most of those people. What are the sources that you hear us reporting from? The Athletic and John Wilner, CBS Sports Dennis Dodd, the guys that are minted insiders in this business who we know have sources because they are repeatedly right. I would ask you to put that same test to our show and every other asshole on Twitter who makes our job exponentially more difficult by reporting stuff that's simply not true and then deleting that tweet and trying to make it like, oh, well, we, because it's garbage. Oh my God, like what?
Yeah.
Like this is the tweet that was put up and deleted. Because this is just simply not true. I've never heard of an athletic director taking to Twitter to call somebody a liar, as he did Rick George, the athletic director of Colorado. There's absolutely no truth to this tweet. And do you understand? And I think we do this, by the way, I think we do this with a lot of people. We do this with people in politics. We do this with people in sports all the time. I'm just going to throw it out there because there are no repercussions.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
There's repercussions to the 9th degree here.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the things we've reported, go ahead and show me the stuff that we've reported that's been proven to be untrue, especially in the Pac-12. Because whether Utah Pig Bus or any other Utah fan who seems to get just so set off by any tweet about Utah, you can say anything you want about this show. This show sucks. Yeah, we pretty much agree with you. This show sucks. Okay, great. But go ahead and point to me where we've been wrong on this.
Right.
Because frankly, I'm over you guys. And if you're one of the 300 people watching the show right now, I'm talking to you directly. I'm over this bullshit of, well, hey, this guy on Twitter that we have no idea who he is, but we're going to believe what he said because he's got 5,000 followers and he's in West Virginia. Like, what credentials does this asshole have? And I'm being serious. If you go find whoever this sleazebag is, this MHVER3 guy, who the fuck are you, man? And what credentials do you have that makes you able to say something like that? And then you have enough of a push that the Colorado athletic director saw it and then replied to it and called you a liar, to which you went on and deleted the tweet. So now we have to deal with that. Because now we're just, you guys are all liars. Look at this. Or whoever this Swaim guy is. Like, I don't even know that Swaim has a show.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this MH whoever guy has a show. But you guys take everything they say, hook, line, and sinker. And I just don't understand it. And frankly, I'm so over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible that, someone with the history, the tradition, and frankly, just the longevity, in Utah Pig Bus. That's someone who's been around the Utah program for well over a decade at this point, maybe longer than that. Like, that's someone who's been around a long time. And I think that, the frustrating part is like, you get, these type of Twitter accounts, these types of, the common nomenclature would be like hack on Twitter or whatever you want to call them. But these guys who are these accounts that go on Twitter and just say whatever they want to say, and then we kind of get lumped into that because we're not on a radio station or because somehow, because we're on YouTube, it's like different or something. And I think that's the struggle, watching, Utah Pig Bus say, what that person was saying and like, tweeting with the, I would say vitriol that they were tweeting with, the malice that they were tweeting with, like, it just is surprising to me that people put effort into these accounts, because what's always been funny to me is, like, especially with our show, I can't really speak to other shows because, I'm obviously, like, I'm not heavily investing in other shows, but like, it's funny to me when someone like Pig Bus, who I said is, been around the program a long time, is like talking about things we talked about like months ago, but then says they never listen and are not invested in our show. And that's fine. That's kind of what we do. That's kind of what fans do. That's kind of what people like to do. Hey, your guys' show sucks, but I listen all the time. So it just is what it is. That's life. And I think that this is the game that we're in now. And this is what Twitter has done to the media.
Yeah, and I think it's really unfortunate because the truth is that we've never reported that on our show. Go back and look. We've never said that Colorado is going to the Big 12. We've never said any of that. But what we have told you is that Colorado's spoken to the Big 12. There is absolutely no question about that.
Yeah.
There's just no doubt about that. And what we've told you about Utah, and here's the other thing that I love about Utah Twitter, like University of Utah fans on Twitter, they'll say, well, look at this guy. And I'll say, okay, well, point directly to me in something I've said that's a complete lie or been proven to be wrong. Oh, but look at you can't do it. So I understand why you're frustrated with certain people. And if you want to take that on me, I guess I understand that too. But don't expect me to get into these. This is why, like, everybody gets upset that I don't answer my DMs. I'm not answering average Jimmy Joe who wants to be an asshole on Twitter.
That's right, T.
If you DM me, my DMs are open. I'm not going to respond. 9 out of 10 of you, I'm not going to respond to you because it's just a Seth pool of death.
Yeah,
like it is. Now, if you are a media member, if you're somebody, like I talk to a ton of media members through DM on Twitter, I'm going to respond to them. If you tweet at me, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to see it because most of my DMs get filtered. And I do that, and I want to be very careful. I'm not trying to lump everybody into the same sock here. But the issue is Twitter has become, especially in the days of Elon Musk, it's just become a dumpster fire of death, and I'm Twitter tough guy. Because I told you 2 weekends ago here at Mavericks Center, it must have been half a dozen guys.
Yeah.
Who are like, oh, hey, good to see you. Your show's great, man. Hey, what do you know about Utah to the Big 12? Oh, hey, man, go back, check it out on YouTube. Like, all my stuff is there. Okay,
Thanks.
well, hey, great show. Really appreciate you. By the way, what's your name? Oh, my name is Stevie the Lion. Okay, cool. You go back and look at Stevie the Lion, who's like, you're an asshole if I ever see you. And it's like, dude, so wait, let me get this right. You're going to kick my ass when you see me in person, but you see me in person and you tell me what a great show I have.
Yeah, dap it up, bro.
That's why I don't respond
Y'all
to
feel
DMs.
me?
That's why I don't get into my notifications on Twitter, because it's frankly, it's a Seth pool and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Go be Stevie the Lion, man.
Yeah.
Go make your kids think you're a hero. Go be with your friends.
I'm a fucking unit.
Yeah, look what I did to the Monty Show. I called him out. Do you feel better? You called me out. Oh boy, I better go run and hide. Fuck off. Like, you're just the guy that I'm just
Jackass.
This thing over the last couple of days, and the irony is I'm probably glad I wasn't on the show the last couple of days, because it's stuff like this where I'm just done with it, man. Like, I'm over you as a consumer giving credence to these dickheads that think they're like the entire world. And who made them that way? You did. This is your fault, because you go follow any idiot that wants to tweet about your favorite school or program. You follow any moron that it puts out stats and, oh my God, I know what I'm talking about.
Hugh Janus.
Cool. Do you realize people buy followers on Twitter? Do you guys understand that just because somebody's got 10,000 followers on Twitter, it means absolutely nothing?
Yeah.
Now, look at their interactions. Like, hey, yeah, homie, it's cool you got 100,000 followers, but you got 3 likes on your tweet. Like, that means nobody's looking at you, man. I'm over it. My firm belief is you are part of the problem, and I want you to understand. I'm not attacking the people who watch this show. I'm truly not. You giving air to these idiots on Twitter is what causes the vitriol, and it makes what we do much, much more difficult. Much, much more difficult because, again, and all the people at Utah say, you're a liar. You're a Utah Twitter. I'm going to kick your ass when I see you. Okay, cool, bro. The guy, the top, not the food chain. The guy who is in charge of the food chain at Utah called us directly.
Yeah.
Called us directly to say, hey, saw your stuff, want to have a conversation with you. Called us directly.
Yeah.
The people at the Utah Jazz called us directly. Do you think we got almost 99.9% of everything on the Jazz correct last year? Look at the Jordan Clarkson thing. Look at this Jordan Clarkson story today. What did I tell you about Jordan Clarkson? Oh, well, hey, man, Ryan Smith doesn't want to trade him. They're not going to trade him. And they're going to try and re-sign him in the summer. Did anybody see what happened with Jordan Clarkson today? What did I tell you would happen with Jordan Clarkson?
Come on, let's go, Schlep Rock.
I told you this is a mistake. You're not going to get this guy back in the summer. What did Jordan Clarkson today say? Hey, I love Utah, but I mean, it's a business. It's nothing for us to pack up and enjoy another experience elsewhere. All right, peace out, dude, because he's gone. Do you think I just made that up out of yeah, I pulled
You out of
that,
your goddamn mind.
I was so high on propofol this morning, I just pulled that shit out of the air, right? Like,
Butthole.
get out of here. Like, I'm just so done with sports fan guy on Twitter giving life to some vampire who's sucking the wind out of the sports media Twitter.
And
Twitter
then us taking a beating over it.
Twitter is, do you guys understand? And I don't know why I'm ranting about this. I'm probably still loaded. But the point is,
Bro.
like, I'm just so over Twitter. Twitter has been destroyed because it used to be the place to be. It's not the place to be anymore. I do far more business on TikTok and Instagram. I enjoy it much more. And that's hard to say because I hate TikTok. But I talk to a lot more people on TikTok recently than I do. Because I don't answer if you DM me or at me, you know I don't answer you.
Keep it real.
I answer Pig Bus because I have, and that level's going down, I'll be honest with you. Him and I have met in person one time, Utah Pig Bus, way back in the day. But I have a lot of respect for the passion and the support and the way that he goes about supporting Utah. There's a level of respect for that because that guy sells out for his school.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done with that. I'm the ability for somebody like that to say, oh, well, you're the same guy who did this. And when I say, hey, no, point to something specifically I did, you just come back with this idiot Swaim's tweet. What's that got to do with me, man?
Yeah.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, and I think what happens is like there's this dynamic at play where you have folks like Pig Bus and many others. I mean, it's not unique to Utah, in my opinion. We just experience it because this happens to be where we live, and I feel like we've been right about a lot of stuff with Utah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But, like, you know, it's not unique to Pig Bus, but I think what happens is folks who boost a program or support a program and they are around the program and they feel like, hey, how could I not know this stuff because I'm in person and I'm talking to these people or whatever, you know, whatever it is. They just feel like they have that in-person experience. So what they do is they say, well, there's no way some YouTube hack could know more than I do. And what's
no,
really...
don't say they. Spence Checkets at ESPN 700. Because today, I'm just over the shit. Like, I'm going to tell people, Spencer Checkets at ESPN 700. The day that Kyrie Irving last year demanded a trade from the last summer or whatever it was, when Kyrie Irving said, I want out of Brooklyn.
Okay, you gotta handle that.
Okay, yeah, here we go. See, it's stuff like this where I'm just like, okay, hey,
Yeah.
man, it's totally good. Let's go here. You know, like you just get into these situations with people where, like, Kyrie Irving
Spence and Kyrie
demands a trade from the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
And I know somebody from, like, the Wayback Machine. Like, back in the days where I just had, like, a wee bit of ball drop and a bunch of corduroy pants in my drawer with, like, Garanimal T-shirts. Like, I know a dude from back in the hizzy, right? So I go back and, you know, I reach out to the guy and I'm like, hey, what's going on here, man? And he's like, yeah, hey, XYZ, this is it. And by the way, he told the Nets that his first preference is to go to the Lakers. Okay, perfect. So what did I do? I tweeted, hey, here's what happened. Kyrie's first preference is to go to the LA Lakers. What did Woj say 30 minutes later? Hey, Kyrie Irving, this is what happened. His first preference is to go to the Lakers. So Spence Checkets, in the meanwhile, is on ESPN 700 calling us the hacks on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, he calls us the hacks on YouTube again when we said, hey, the Jazz and the Knicks are really close, but here's why Donovan Mitchell hasn't been traded yet.
Sticking point.
It's these three players and this, and we nailed it.
Yeah.
We nailed it to the point where Leon Rose came out and, like, said chapter and verse, hey, Monty, you got this exactly right. But yet we're the hacks on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're the hacks on YouTube with twice as many people who watch our show as listen to your radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I'm happy to be the hacks on YouTube.
And those are public numbers, by the way. That's not just us guys.
Yeah, this isn't something
for all the guys who are going to be like, oh, well, how do you know? Well,
go check
they're
them.
Public numbers, dude.
And by the way, one of our advertisers said, hey, by the way, hey, we're getting more from you than we get from radio in Salt Lake City.
Who knew?
But who knew? So I'm sorry to rail about this. And the thing that I want you to take away from this is Twitter is a utility for me.
I think what you should take away from it is there's two groups of people in the media now. There are old world and new world. And
Yes.
I think that our advantage is we have someone who is both. Someone who has decades of experience in the industry. You know, God forbid, would know a couple of people through that decade of experience. You know, I know we just make stuff up, but you know a few people here and there.
So never mind. And I don't even mind saying it. Hey, never mind. I used to work at ESPN, dude. Like, I know 100 people at ESPN.
Not ESPN local radio station.
No, like
the
Bristol.
ESPN.
Bristol, Connecticut. Go check my LinkedIn, dude. It's public. Anybody can look at it.
Yeah.
And that's why I leave it public. So yeah, I don't know anybody. I don't, you know.
And so my point is just that you have two sect of people in this world where it's like, hey, YouTube doesn't work, or what you know, oh, well, you guys only have this amount of subscribers, so there's no way you could have this amount of views. Like, we know what you're saying. We know what you're saying. We know. And that tells me everything that I need to know about your lack of knowledge on it. So that's why I say, like, I don't even take the thing personally. Like, watching you go back and forth with Pig Bus, I'm just like, dude, this person watches our show regularly, watches our show weekly, like all the time. And for that, I say thank you, because you are the one that makes this world go around for us.
No, they're breaking us, though. They're
Yeah,
calling
we're
us out.
terrible.
That's the
Dude.
other thing I love on Twitter.
Dude.
Oh, I'm calling you out. Somebody's got to hold you accountable.
Dude.
Okay, cool. Hold me accountable. Marlon Shaw. Marlon Shaw gives us $25 to say, I'm with you, bro. I don't know if you have been proven wrong. I don't care. I found you right way more often than wrong. I watch for thought-provoking insight. I happen to be intelligent and make my own opinions, so you're the one. So no, I wish more people were looking for thought-provoking opinion, and then they take that opinion and they're like, oh, let me go check into that. Oh, okay. I checked into that. Here's my thought.
Correctamundo.
See what I'm saying? Marlon spends more money on the show.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate the info you provide as it helps me in my own personal evaluations. Keep up the good work, my friend. Let the idiots be idiots and don't let them get under your skin. And that's really what we've over the last 2 years, that's why we laugh at a lot of things. I get fired up naturally, so when I talk about this stuff, it's like I'm passionate about it. But the haters don't break you. And this is what I always say. Like, the haters don't break you.
And you know what's incredible? Is these guys on the radio, what's so incredible to me, just think about this. They do radio. They're the ones that have this amazing platform. They're the ones that are supposed to be the reliable, like, you're the best in the market people. And what are they doing? Watching our show, because you wouldn't be able to reference what we've said based off of just a tweet. Spence did a whole thing on it. Spence took like at least 5 to 7 minutes to talk about what we had talked about on the show, which is how I know you watched the show.
Yeah.
Because again, Twitter is very limited in that sense, where you've only got, 300 characters now, I think, or
Something
maybe
like that,
something
yeah.
like you don't have a lot of time and space on Twitter to share your opinion. So it's like, I've just always thought that was funny. So, you know.
Hey, thanks, McKay Boyle, for a $10 super sticker. Appreciate that. Marlon, by the way, thank you very much. Appreciate you. As always, thanks for being a part of the show. North End Zone Utes. I think Spence Checkett's also called Patrick Kinahan when PK said live on the radio that he received a text from that Donovan Mitchell was traded. He specifically said he wasn't reporting it. Yeah, I thought so. locally in Salt Lake City. So the Donovan Mitchell trade was supposedly happening. The guy on the morning show for the flagship Utah Jazz got on the station and said, I just got a text saying Donovan Mitchell's been traded. It's done. It was never done. It was nope, not
and
done.
what he specifically said was traded to the Knicks.
Yes. He said news release is coming. By the way, if you'd like to become a member like Ben Novak.
Let's go. I'm pulling it out here.
Let's go, Ben Novak.
Let's go.
Appreciate you joining the program. Appreciate you. Thank you for that. Ben Novak. If you guys would like to be members of the show, just click the link I put in there. Two Masters says, AM radio, what is this, 1988?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I think AM radio, but seriously, like in this Colorado situation, which is actually what we're talking about today, I promise you.
Fuck you. How's that?
This AM radio is alive and well. Don't kid yourself. You look at the prime demos. There was a survey released this week, in fact. While I was losing half of my bowels on the toilet, I was reading this survey on Thursday, yesterday, that talked about how more millennials are reached by AM radio than are on TV. Mm-hmm. So broadcast TV reaches fewer millennials than the AM radio does. Here's the problem, though. In Salt Lake City, where we live, the AM radio is dead because the signal's terrible. Like Jazz games on AM radio are absolute trash. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Gabriel says, is AM radio still a thing? It is. It is. I'm telling you. David Sebesta in Denver, 850 KOA has significant sway still. If you do radio well, you're going to have good results. But so much sports radio now is on in the FM. And I've been really lucky. For those of you who don't know, I've worked at some of the best AM radio stations in the entire country. KGO in San Francisco, one of the best radio stations in the entire country. KMBR 680, one of the best radio stations in the entire country. Like, I've worked at some of the giants, and it has a place. Riley O'Brien, this show is so good, I'd be listening even if we weren't local. These guys are elite at this stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you. Brandon Butler says, welcome back, boys. You were missed.
Hell of a way to just show back up. I mean, I know you think you can just do the show whenever you want, but, really nice job hot taking it to come back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Suck it up, Buttercup. Says, appreciate you and Jake. We are the true blood listeners. You guys are easy on the ears and senses. Great work. Thank you. And I really appreciate the kind words. That's not why I lost my shit today. Well, no, that was during the colonoscopy that happened, but which we'll explain later in the show. Why did
you choose to go back and forth so long on Twitter? What was
with Pig Bus?
Yeah.
Because I actually, you know what it was? Jake, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
You're just disappointed.
That's what it was, honestly. I really appreciate Utah Pig Bus. I do. And again, if you don't know, if you don't live here in Utah, he is a passionate booster of the University of Utah. But his whole thing is no school in the Pac-12 has ever talked to the Big 12. And I can tell you, and he doesn't want to hear it from me, dude, the guy sitting on top of the food chain called us. It was like, yeah, we talked to him, and here's what we talked about, and this is why this is happening, and that's why this is happening. And like, it's not a question of have they.
Yeah.
Now, is Utah going to the Big 12? They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Is Colorado?
And
not
that's what
now.
I think gets really confused on our channel. Like, we've never just outright said, hey, Colorado's going to the Big 12. We've not said that. What we've talked about in detail, though, is, hey, why would Colorado be a good fit? Hey, does it make sense? Hey, what is Prime's effect, if any, on this situation? Is Prime actually having a lot of impact on the Pac-12, and will Colorado be good? Or is it really just this, all this stuff? That's what we do on the show, Grum. But we've never, if anybody says to you, hey, we've come out and just outright said Colorado's going to the Big 12, they have no idea what they are talking about, because we have never said that.
I agree. Marlon Shaw gives us $2.99 and say, FYI, the GBD in West Valley or in West Virginia died recently. Yeah. So the Golden Blue dude was a YouTuber. And it's funny, I want to say it was 3 days before he passed.
It was 3 days.
He was on our show. He was in our comment section. He became a member. He was asking us to do a collab. And we were actually talking to his producer. He has a guy that produces a bunch of shows. And he was asking us to come on a show.
We were working on it.
Yeah, it's just, the Golden Blue dude will be forever missed. One of the genuine dudes, one of the real guys. Josh Ward gives us a $4.99 tip to say, if the Pac-12 dismantles, where do you honestly see Utah landing? It feels like Utah to the Big 12 is not a slam dunk, as some may think. It's not a slam dunk.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a lot on the program, and I will again say, I think the biggest issue for Utah going to the Big 12 is Utah wants to stay where it is academically, as far as who it surrounds itself with. And they want to continue to grow their research funding and their research projects. Again, just because we talked to the dude at Utah, they want to expand what they are doing in research. That money dwarfs any money you are getting athletically at almost any school. Your academic dollars dwarf any money that you are getting from athletics. So it makes perfect sense, to me anyway, it makes perfect sense that Utah is a little hesitant to leave Stanford, Cal, and the rest of the Pac-12 because the academic level is very high. The problem in the Big 12 is that the academic level is very mid. Utah would go in at, I think they're 105th nationally. They go in and be the 4th rated academic school in the Big 12. And I think they're 8th or something like that in the Pac-12. It's difficult, man. It is very difficult to justify, if you are Utah, it's very difficult to justify leaving the Pac-12 to go to the Big 12. It just is. The problem is I don't see Utah as a fit in the Big 10. It just doesn't feel like a seamless fit. You understand why Washington and Oregon, Stanford and Cal joining USC and UCLA is a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer. The Pacific time zone, like the synergy, the travel, the quality football programs, like you totally understand it. Utah, though, isn't the easy travel partner for USC that an Oregon is, because there's not the heat between USC and Utah that there is between what's viewed as perception being reality, what's viewed as a power program in Oregon. So there's not the heat between, Utah and SC that's perceived between SC and Oregon. That's just the natural reaction to it. And I think if you are the AD at Ohio State or Northwestern or Michigan or anybody else in the Big Ten, Utah doesn't move the needle the way Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal do. And the academia in the Big Ten wants Stanford and Cal. So, it's simply a matter of finding more revenue for those schools. If and when they're ready to make a move, or if the Pac-12 dissolves, but no, I don't think there's an easy avenue that sees Utah getting to the Big 12, because I think the people at the top of the food chain at Utah, and you tell me if I'm making too much out of it, the people at the top of the food chain at Utah don't see the Big 12 as some great green grass landing spot.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, and I also think that these same people kind of painted a picture to us about how, Pac-12 schools are not enthusiastic in any way, shape, or form about the Big 12, or frankly, realignment in any case or any sense of the word. I think that, realignment is not what they want, but they understand that it's coming for them. And I think that's what you have to understand, the concept of it. That's the concept you have to understand, that just because realignment is possible, and just because, us on the show, Grum, or maybe you or whoever you talk to thinks it's a good idea, doesn't mean that Pac-12 schools actually are enthusiastic about it or want to do it. I think the Oregon, Washington, Stanford, Cal thing is a money play, and it's opportunistic. I think that that's the only reason those schools are really interested in that. Like if the Pac-12 had a robust TV deal where you were getting $50 a year, this wouldn't even be a thing. There wouldn't even be a conversation about the Big 12 or the Big 10 or anything. But this all stems from the fact that you don't have revenue and schools feel insecure right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's the word too.
Yeah.
Institutions feel insecure about it. And maybe if they were bucked up, they wouldn't feel so insecure about it. And maybe if they were using the promo code Monty at buckedup.com, cheers to you, friends, they wouldn't feel insecure about it. Make sure you check out the description below to get your 3 free samples. And boys, do they have a deal going on now. They have a brand new product. And I don't know if you guys remember the Bucked Up. They tend to be on the cutting edge.
Yeah, they like to be out in front of things. They like to be energetic. They like to be, real aggressive about it.
The Pixie Pumps at buckedup.com. I was fortunate as an influencer in Bucked Up.
An ambassador.
We got a box of the Pixie Pump from Bucked Up. And I'm telling you guys, you got to go and try it, because it is really good. And what it is the what, and I don't remember what they were called, but I think they were called Pixies. And it was basically just a tube of sugar that you tore off the top and poured in your face, and you got diabetes from it. Mm-hmm. Well, the difference here is that you're not getting diabetes from these.
Right.
In fact,
bro, you're such a cat.
Dude.
Oh my.
Bro.
Oh, again, this is the second Bucked Up that has died in the studio today.
This is like my 8th Bucked Up that I have dropped. And it's Mrs. Monty's fault. She's sitting here on the sidelines today. Yes, I need more.
Because it is Pixie Sticks.
Holy cow. It is Pixie Sticks. That's good right there.
Yeah. Pixie Sticks. You are correct.
Pixie Sticks, yes.
And
let me put you there. Jeez Louise. See, I'm so disheveled. There's the sign, but let me go over here.
Disheveled.
Let me go over here.
It's because you're still
there
under
you
the
are.
influence.
Hey.
Oh, hey.
There she is. So yes, go ahead about Pixies.
Pixie Sticks are, they were the candy, but the Pixies, the bucked up Pixies, are non-stem pump. And all you have to do is just tear the top off, pour it in, it dissolves right on your tongue.
Do you even lift?
Arrgh! I do. I use the low stem 100.
You are a low stimmer, big time.
I am, because the full stem mixed with whatever like magic dust they have in there, it just like I turn into an earthquake of jitters.
Dude, I gotta tell you, this made a huge mess. Do not spill. Thank you.
So
Jay.
the doctor
do not
said,
spill your bucked up.
The doctor said, "Don't work today. Don't drive.
No,
don't
that's
operate
not at all it. That's
heavy
not at all
machinery.
it. I was doing the bucked up read, and you wanted to talk, so I had to reach across, which I never do. This is the remote for the cameras, and I generally never mess with it.
It's my fault, but I am here in a supervisory capacity today because someone can't be responsible for themselves.
Well, that is true. Anyway, hi, friends. Make sure that you get to buckedup.com and tear open your box of Pixie Pump. It's worth it. It's non-stim, and they do all kinds of things. By the way, I got the watermelon flavor. They're fantastic. I would highly encourage you to go get them. It's right at the top of the screen. The Pixie Pump is. Use the promo code Monty to get 25% or 20% off your purchase at checkout. So promo code Monty to get 20% off your purchase at checkout of the Pixie Pump, because they are freaking amazing. I love them. I am looking forward to using them tomorrow when I am throwing around serious weight.
Yeah, you actually going to try and work out together tomorrow, or are you going to ghost me again?
Well, you're the one going out on a date tonight.
Okay, but that doesn't matter.
Get your ass out of bed.
Well.
There's the Pixie Pump, by the way. Super easy. They come in the little tubes. Go to buckedup.com, get those. But you guys, if you haven't tried Bucked Up yet, all you have to do is in the description below, get the free samples. There's a link that says Bucked Up free samples. You get 3 free samples as well. You also get a shaker cup of your choice. If you want a Bucked Up t-shirt, they also have a great deal right now where you get a Bucked Up t-shirt with your 3 free samples. So make sure you go check it out in the description below. Okay, now that I have completely soaked the counter, let's see the heat that I'm getting for this.
Are you the new soaker?
Stop. Why? Why would you bring that up? Why would you bring that up? No.
Dude, like,
no,
you
asshole.
up, dude.
Oh, wait.
No, it
What I
was
just
your
said.
ass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hugh Janus.
Yeah, it's probably like it was. It
you
was.
know.
See, what I had meant to say was you butthole.
I am here in
No.
a supervisory capacity today to make
You are.
sure.
You're here to make sure that the inmates aren't running the asylum, and I am.
Right.
And I 100% am.
I'm
But
not
you're the
afraid
one.
to die.
Yeah, you're the one going on a date tonight. Another redhead, right? Like, what have I told you about redheads?
They're fabulous.
No. You had better put a bridle on that horse, or you're never going to be able to ride it because they like Mustangs.
What the?
Look at the outrage on your face right now.
Hell no.
Them redheads is wild.
See?
You
I'm going to
know.
have to. You know what? I didn't bring my penalty flags.
Exactly.
Did you ever get those?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. She used to
She
throw them at
has
us
them?
on the show.
That's right.
Chris
Okay.
Karn says, I think energy drinks are a no-no post-probe. Well, too late for that.
Probe.
Too late for
Is that
that.
your no-no zone?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Wow.
I'm telling you. Don't.
That, sir, is my no-no square.
Bro, so let me get this right. Inside of 40 minutes, after 2 days off, we've got a soaking reference and a no-no square
No,
reference.
asshole. You're the one who made the soaking reference, and now look at the comments. There's a soaker.
You
There's
said
an
that you
eggplant.
soaked the desk. So I asked, are you
Look
the
at
new
Shannon.
soaker?
Look at Shannon, super soaker
Yeah.
with an eggplant.
Yeah.
Now, the doctor, and by the way, all the nurses did comment on my size 15 shoe today, but that's not really the point. That's not really the point.
The sad thing is he's so tall that he's from his mid calf to the whole foot is hanging off. And they were constantly like, can you push yourself back up on the gurney a little bit more? Because you're like hanging off.
Well, but seriously, it is what it is. It's fine.
Anyway.
It's fine. David Hume says,
Is
"Oh,
it fine?
hey, Mrs. Monty,
Hi.
are we going to the break tonight in Daybreak? What's the plan?
I think we are going to the break and daybreak afterwards. And Chris, no limits after the, procedure.
Yeah.
And in fact, they were kind of disappointed that you didn't use a stimulant during prep.
Yeah, how about that?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We're way off the rails
But
here.
Okay, back to
get your ass
sporty.
back on
Turn
track.
her microphone off. Okay. No more spilling the bucked up.
Dilly.
By the way, it's bucked up Miami, which is like gold in this town.
Seriously.
Because you can never get it. Make sure you get that. Big Jack 512 soaker. No. Tanner says, LOL, sorry, Mont. There's only one soaker, and that's this guy.
That's right.
Exactly right. It's this guy. Dating a redhead tonight.
Earthquaker.
I'm just telling you. J-Rod, hey, J-Rod, says, red on the head, fire in the bed. See?
Hey.
See what I was like? You gotta
fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go.
Arlington Bears, Chris Karn. Jake loves the red. Does she Marco Polo?
No.
She does not Marco Polo.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it could come up.
Yeah. Have you talked to this girl yet?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Scott of Greywater Watch. Okay. I don't know what Greywater Watch means. He says opioids are a hell of a drug. I will tell you, when they give you they give you two things. They give you fentanyl because it dilates your blood vessels, and then they pump you full of Michael Jackson dead drugs.
Cocaine and hookers, my friend.
Dude, they put that propofol in there, and it lights your face on fire. Dude, it absolutely, my face just was like, ah. Then we started talking about 1320K fan. That's what put me to sleep, by the way. I was like, done. Wait till you hear the wake up story.
Yeah.
Two Masta says fire crotch red is the best. Okay. Jacob DeLambo says, I'm not going there. We shouldn't have either.
Yeah.
My bad.
Just so you can go to Pound Town.
Yeah, exactly. Giggity says Jake is
Hey, man.
Jake is on a mission to see if the carpets match the drapes.
You're not wrong. Not wrong out here, Giggity.
There are a lot of redhead fans. Mike Phillips, redheads are the greatest.
I'm trying, man.
Tanner, Mont, you started the soaking stuff today. Yes, the tape proves it. Yeah, I did. No, Mrs. Monty did because she kicked over a can of bucked up mango tango.
That's true.
It was Jim and Juice.
Oh, Jim and Juice, excuse me.
You have to be careful with the positioning of your cans, okay? You got to make sure that your cans are not in the strike zone.
Mrs. Monty, where are your cans in the strike zone?
Absolutely in the right place. They're very safe away from your can.
Thank you. Thank you. See, I watch out for her. But I will tell you, now that I've got the bucked up, I feel good. No, we're not leaving that. Not fucking doing it. Learn your lesson. Mike M says soak and toke.
Okay.
Mike Maples,
It's
we
not
honor you.
420 yet, so.
We honor you with the Tanner Plummer Super Soaker Award. Thank you. Thank you very much. Big Jack 512, two ex-wife bossy redheads.
Hey.
Rhett Williams says no Grizz game. I'm going to the Grizzlies game tonight. Some of us aren't.
I live here, Rhett. Don't at me, okay?
Yeah, he doesn't donate diapers. He wears diapers.
That's right.
Tonight is diaper donation night, by the way. Tanner Plummer says, well, Mapes, I'm the king of soaking. So, but who's the king of earthquaking? Salty Drunk, what's up? Wow, Tanner, you sure are owning that soaker tag now.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm here for that, dude. Let's go, Tanner. I love it.
Don't forget Emma Harrington coming up on the show at 4:15. Lopes fan Gabe says Jake State has hair to match the flags that are going up about her. See, red flags. Red flags. And what'd you say to me? I finally took your advice. We're going. Where are you taking your date?
Chipotle.
Thank you.
Is that not what you said to do?
We're going to Jimmy Jack Steakhouse.
Is that not what you said to do?
Yeah, you don't take. By the way, that you had that first date, took her to a steakhouse. No, you didn't. Where'd you take the other redhead who dumped you? Or no, you dumped her. Well,
a pizza place, dude.
Thank you. See?
Do you see what I have to work with here? Jake, do you see what I have to deal with?
Yeah.
Just what? Just what?
Don't listen to him.
On to Cincinnati.
North End Zone Ute would like to get the show back on track by saying the Big 12, influenced by BYU fan. In parentheses, we don't need Utah. We already have schools in the state. Utah fan, we want the Pac-12 to stay together and have dreams of the Big 10. Big 12 fan, Utah thinks they own the place, are too good. I think that if you're a Utah fan,
pretty accurate.
And this is my thing. If you're a Utah fan and you think that you don't belong in the Big 12, I don't understand where your head's at. Because I think And I know I get crushed by Big 12 fans who's like, you're a Pac-12 homer. Okay, fine. If you put Utah in the Big 12 last year, they're in the college football playoff. Because I do think they're on par with TCU and maybe a little better.
Yeah.
Matchup, man for man last year. The secondary at Utah, like
that defense would give Mr. Duggan a hell of a time.
I think they would. And I think Utah belongs in the Big 12. That's just my opinion. But hey, you know. Dibs says, SLC Jake, what happened with Marco Polo Red? Are you collecting them or something?
No, just had to move on, bro. Wasn't a match.
You know. Nate Davis, redheads are really cute. Gabriel, y'all are wild with these comments. Go get them, Jake.
That's my guy right there. Let's go.
I love it, Gabe. Big Jack 512, winner, Ryan Fair. My kids are not here this evening, so I'm safe from you fools tonight. Damn right. Damn right, Ryan Fair. Dibs says, don't redheads prefer pepperoni on their pizzas?
I don't know. I'm going to find out.
That's a red flag. That's a red flag. Let's see. Robert Moffat, a member of the show. If only Jake had a redhead. Exactly.
I'm working on it, dude.
Taco and Tech. I married a redhead.
Okay.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. Truck Stop Gumby, cans and hands. Where has this show gone? To high
places. That was good work by me.
High places.
Come on.
I agree. Mike M says NBA game would be a great date. It would be a great date, but you can't really talk much at a Jazz game. Cody Strickland. Hello? Cody Strickland.
Yeah, is this thing on?
Dude, my comments get missed back. All the time.
Here we go.
Fuck.
Ain't no reset.
Okay, dude, I read. Okay, Cody, I'm sorry I missed your comments. My bad. Rick James. I'm a redhead and I think I have soul, but not sure.
Okay.
Check it out. Let us know. Two Masters. Soaking and colonoscopy sound like my kind of party. Dude, you ain't even... Wait until I tell you
Janus.
what they told me about my colon.
Nar.
Lopes Van Gabe. Jake took a date to Chuck E. Cheese. Can't imagine why it didn't work out.
Okay, that's not true. I've never done that.
No, but you did meet her at Chuck E. Cheese, though.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
Never mind. You missed it. Gary, what's up? How you feeling, Monty? Pretty good now. Pretty good. Later in the show, I'll tell you how I felt at about 4 o'clock this morning. G. Lee says Utah in the Pac-1. Gary says Utah easily dominates the Pac-12 or the Big 12 easily.
I don't know about easily, dude. Yeah, like
that's a talented. I can't wait to see Fano on the edge.
They're a top 3 program in the Big 12 for sure.
I would agree with that. Mark Ruckert says, "What the hell? Utah lost 4 games last year? Yeah, but there were stories behind that. I think that there's no getting away from it. Utah lost games they should have won. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But they won the conference and went back to the Rose Bowl, which they lost again.
And by the way, they weren't the only ones to lose games they should not have lost.
I agree. But I think they had significant injury issues. Whatever was going on with this Tavion Thomas story, which is terrifying.
But think about it. If Brant doesn't tear the ACL, if Cam doesn't get injured.
And that's what I was going to say. You lost your best receiver in Brant Keithy.
Yeah.
Right? And he's back this year. Cam was playing injured pretty much all year. You're 3 deep at the quarterback now versus last year. So I'm not necessarily ready to write them off because they lost. Last year there was a story. There's a story every year. So you're not wrong, by the way.
Yeah.
Sebesta says, staying in the Pac-12 is like being on the NCAA probation in the 80s, 90s. No TV equals no marquee recruits.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think the Pac-12 is going to die. I think the biggest question is, what happens when somebody jumps? Because I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. When somebody jumps. And who's it going to be? Because my guess is Arizona is the first one to go.
Mm-hmm.
I think Arizona's locked and loaded. I think Arizona, everybody's behind their president. So he's just waiting for that number. Because you'd be a fool. To leave now, you'd be a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's leaving now without hearing what the numbers are. Because if you're, for instance, this Colorado nonsense. Colorado's not going to leave this moment. Because what's the upside in that? Does it change if they leave a month from now when they get a TV deal? Did they lose something? No. No, you're going when the right time. Because what if somehow Kliavkov pulls out a $300 million a year deal? I'm not saying he's gonna, but somehow he gets Amazon, Apple TV, Ion TV.
The Noah's Ark of TV deals.
Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And there are dead sheep all over the field from Noah's Ark, right? Because we know them motherfuckers drowned.
Damn, this
but
got
the point
graphic.
is, no, I'm kidding. The point is, if somehow Klyavkov pulls out the impossible and gets some crazy TV deal, why would you leave?
Yeah.
You're better off, because again, and I know people don't like to hear this, they're better off staying together than they are splitting up if he gets them a $30 million a year deal. Because all of them are going to make more money.
Yeah.
They just are. They're a powerhouse together. Now, are you what you were with SC and UCLA? No. Of course you're not. Are you valued at $100 million? Again, I told somebody on Twitter this today because they were like, you're an idiot. You think they're only valued at $100 million. Let me tell you how it works, dude. You're worth what somebody's willing to pay you.
It's that easy.
And I don't care if you're a waiter. I don't care if you're a lawyer. I don't care if you're Utah. You're worth what somebody's willing to pay you. It's simple business economics. And the bottom line right now is they don't have a deal that's anywhere near $30 million a year.
Yeah.
And they're asking for $400 million in total distribution rights. That's going to be really difficult to do.
Yeah.
Really difficult to do.
Yep.
So, let's see. Dale Donuts, how the heck are you? I am married to a redhead Native American. Gee, Louise. The one of the nurses or one of the technicians in my room today was Native American.
Yes.
Yeow, she's a fireball. Love it. Love it. Tanner Plummer, on my mission, there was this redhead I met on the street who was drop dead gorgeous. Wait, you don't have... Excuse me, sir. You're serving our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Are you telling me you are looking at a woman as a
In
sexual...
God's name, image, and likeness.
He treats objects like women, man. Like,
Stay hard.
You only have eyes for the word of the Lord, sir.
Oh.
Anyway.
Wow.
My companion was like, man, if I wasn't a missionary, the things I would do to her.
God bless.
Did you turn him in, Tanner? You did. Did you turn him in?
I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
Did you report him? The best story ever was my guy, Ben Napoleon Wilson, is up at BYU, Idaho, watching R-rated movies in his dorm. They snitched him out. He got the boot. Love that. Tanner says that guy's mind was in the gutter a lot. You know. Mark Ruckert says they backed into a Pac-12 champion. I don't care if they backed in, if they did a
truck stop conference.
Right.
So,
I mean, but they could have also, instead of backing in, they could have done autonomous driving mode into the Pac, or
Don't play intramurals, brother.
Or a 3-point turn. How about a 3-point turn into the conference championship?
Please.
You don't back into anything. Did you get into the conference? Oh, you did. By the way, did you win the game? Oh, you did. That's right. Who cares? There's no such thing.
And he could also be saying that hey, they backed into the Pac-12 championship this year, so what do you think they'd do if they were healthy in the Big 12? I mean, he could be saying that too.
Gary says, can't wait for the Grizzlies game tonight. Are you coming to the game, Gary?
Gary.
Mike M., as an Oregon fan, Utah is constantly underrated. It's a great football program. Absolutely it is.
Excuse me. We don't have football programs on this show.
It's program, sir.
Program.
Cougar Tail. I want Utah in the Big 12, even though they are so prickly if you say anything about the Pac-12 falling apart.
I want it.
We deserve BYU Utah.
Every year for like eternity.
Just so that half the congregants have to tithe extra to the church because of the F-bombs they dropped the Saturday before that Sunday session.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. Rhett Williams, I got 2 Grizz ticks tonight. Who wants them? Let's go, Rhett.
Hey, Rhett.
Who wants to? Utah Grizzlies, final home weekend of the season before the playoffs start. 5-1, I believe they won on Wednesday, or Thursday it would be. I was too doped up. I think it was Thursday. No, it was Wednesday, because tonight's
Wednesday,
Friday.
Bro.
Yeah, see, my days are all messed up.
Dude.
You get that butthole cord out and things happen. Wednesday, they won 5-1. Yesterday, they were in a golf simulator. That was awesome. Tonight and tomorrow, the final 2 home games of the year. Tonight is the diaper drop. Rhett Williams has 2 tickets. Who wants the 2 tickets? Hook it up. Let's go. Thanks, Rhett. Appreciate you. Cody, don't go there. Trust me. Cody who?
Strickland about his comments not being read because everyone wants to say their comments never get read.
Yeah. Salty Drunk has said that about 1,000 times. Jet Wayman, the tile king of Utah. I'm a redhead, and I definitely have no soul.
Okay.
Well, because the devil sucked the soul out of your rectum.
You want to explain that?
Oh, no, that was me today. Never mind. Anyway,
Yeah.
confused. Teddy, good to see you. Teddy and I, with Jake, we pounded beers at the Jazz game together last weekend. Well, I had one.
Yeah.
Did you have one?
No.
Lightweight. Yeah, you know. I know. Well, speaking of that, I think I'm going to hell because I drank Bud Light. Because apparently in this country now, if you drink Bud Light, you go to hell.
That's right.
That's what Marge said. So I'm just saying.
outside. How about that?
I should probably stop. Big Dog O-Town says red straight fire. Now it's all about redheads. It is all about redheads. Tanner Plummer. There was this guy who was a redhead and kept singing, I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I got soul, but I'm not a soldier.
Clearly the drugs were still in the system.
Mike M. No, I was able to sing long before that. Mike M. My Blazers got relegated to Pac-12. Your Blazers.
Yeah, because they're terrible.
Okay.
Portland.
The Trailblazers?
Yeah.
The Jail Blazers?
Yeah.
Mrs. Monty has a word.
Okay.
Hey, Monty.
Do I need to come back in as a supervisory
But
capacity?
we need to get your. We need to get.
Yeah, you gotta get the lighting right here, my guy. Okay, he's working the controls.
Hey, there she is.
Come out of the darkness
That's right.
retreat.
Turn up the contrast. Asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're what now?
Jackass.
Wow. It took that long, and he does not know. Okay.
I'm hot.
Yeah. But I'm fine.
I am.
I'm fine. I can drive heavy machinery.
I drove here.
I can.
I'm not fired. I'm not fired. The show's named after me. Oh, time for the Jake Show.
Yeah, it's not
Don't
the Jake
think
Show.
so.
It's the Monty Show, okay?
Time for the Fire Crotch program.
Hiscock.
This is going to be an off the rails show.
You can just
Oh, it
tell
is.
already, bro.
It
whole
is.
time.
Has it not been already?
It's Friday.
Sorry,
It's,
people.
you know.
It is, but
It's
has
Friday,
it not
dude.
been
A
already?
little bit too much propofol.
Yeah, seriously. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. North End Zone Ute says Oklahoma State or any other Big 12 team would leave at the drop of a hat for the Big 10. Done. No doubt about it. That doesn't mean they think they are too good for the Big 12. No, that's just simple economics. That's all. That just straight up. You're not wrong, North End Zone Ute. Absolutely, because if you're BYU, if you are K-State, new commissioner of the Patini calls you and he's like, hey, bro, we got $100 million a year. You feel like it? Yeah, cool.
The ink isn't dry yet.
Can you put LaVell Edwards Stadium on the back of a flatbed tomorrow? Because we have to relocate to Winnetka, Illinois, right?
Well said.
I'll stop being bitter. Let's see. Levi Long says they belong on a sinking ship. That's not nice. Gary says the only two I'm afraid of in the 12 are Baylor and Texas Tech. Baylor can ball, dude.
Yeah.
The rest are winnable games. You're not worried about.
You should be worried about TCU, bro.
Yeah, you're not worried about
TCU 's
K-State. You're not
good-ass
worried
team.
about. I mean, I think that conference. You can't tell me Mike Gundy at Okie State's going to be down long. You can't tell me. Robert Moffitt says Monty's Polyps will join the Mountain West. Oh, do I have a
as
story
matter
about
of
polyps?
fact.
Do I have a story about polyps? About an hour from now, you don't want to miss that. Mr. Monkey says Utah lost to Penn State. Discussion over. It is? I didn't know that.
What discussion exactly are you referencing?
The Lambeau BYU football has been the trail.
Whatever that means.
I don't know what that means. Of tears. Well, Independence was not easy. Rhett Williams. Wait, who did we lose from the starters? For what, Rhett? Help me with that.
Yeah, you talking about Utah or what are you talking about
Help
here,
me
man?
with that. The Monty Show, this hour of the program, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. It's the weekend, MFers. Who's getting their Papa Murphy's Pizza on? They have a great deal right now. One medium, 2 topping pizza, $6.99 at Papa Murphy's Pizza.
Whether it's game day, movie night, or just a busy day, it's always time for Papa Murphy's. And now you can get any medium 2-topping pizza for just $6.99. That's right. The whole family can get exactly what they want any day of the week for any occasion. Any toppings, any sauce, only $6.99. Now that's meaty yum. If only everything else in life was like our deal. Papa Murphy's. We make great pizza so you can make the pizza great. Order online today at papamurphys.com.
No, we were going to the oh, hey, how are you? The commercial ended. Papa Murphy's Pizza. Make sure you use the promo code Monty25. Wow. We were all just joking back and forth. I'm wearing like a full Nike vest today,
Crack,
so I'm
ice,
boom, pow. But I'm a little hot, like temperature-wise.
Not to be confused with a little high.
No, not hot.
He is a little high, which has made him a little hot.
He's not.
I'm not at all.
Freewheeling today.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
That's fine. I'm here as a supervisory capacity.
Yeah, and you know.
Maybe just unzip the vest if you're sweating.
I'm not really.
Wow.
Anyway, the Monty Show, as always.
Wow.
But he's fine. I'm fine.
I am. Presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. Because as always, when you work with The Advocates, you never pay out of pocket. So you don't pay The Advocates until they win your case. And again, I know so many people have asked me about their workman's comp division. They've got some of the best workman's comp attorneys on staff at The Advocates in the entire country. Do not try to navigate the workman's comp minefield on your own. You need an attorney.
Facts.
And what do you have to lose by talking to The Advocates? Because you know that they don't charge you a consultation fee. So you got hurt at work. That's not your fault, man. That could have changed your life. I know people, I was talking to a police officer several months ago who got hurt at work. It ended his career. It ended his career. He hurt his hip. He was never able to work again. Got a settlement, and he's been working part-time jobs since because the settlement wasn't enough. You guys, you've got to get to somebody who knows how to get you the money that you deserve, especially when you get hurt at work. That wasn't your fault. Maybe there's a career change coming. Maybe you have to find a way to pay for that, that afterlife education. When you're changing careers like that, it's like starting all over again. Don't do that for free. Don't believe that somebody else is going to help you. Get the peace of mind that comes with doing business with The Advocates. Chat with an attorney for free online. It costs you nothing. Theadvocates.com. There's a box that says chat with an attorney 24/7. Theadvocates.com. Good day to you, sirs. 13 minutes from now, Emma Harrington will join the show. We'll talk Utah Jazz. Of course, we are going to talk about our friends at Tri-Day Trading. TriDayTrading.com. Get their 30-day $10 membership, which is a tax donation. They don't put that money in their pocket. They give it to a charity, which means it's a tax write-off for you. It's your education. It's a tax write-off for you. Again, I'll just say, what do you have to lose? Get to TriDayTrading.com. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. The biggest story in sports today, Jake, I want to say, I do believe it's this Big 12 situation with Colorado. Let me recap that real quick before we get to the Jazz and the NBA. You'll remember last week the New York Post said that Colorado could be the first member to jump to the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Then everything went sideways. There was a tweet the other day that said, hey, the Board of Regents is going to vote on Monday to join the Big 12. It's over with.
Right.
To which the Colorado athletic director jumped all over that hack and said there's absolutely no truth to this tweet.
Because it's garbage.
Now, having said that, there is absolutely a Colorado Board of Regents meeting on Monday. And from what we understand, what's going to happen in that meeting is they're going to discuss their current athletic situation.
Yeah.
That does not mean they're voting on going to the Big 12. That does not mean they're talking about leaving the Pac-12 and voting on it. They're going to have a discussion. And I'll be frank with you, we don't have sources at Colorado. We have sources in the TV industry, and we have sources all around Colorado. So I can't tell you that we've spoken to somebody at Colorado, but I can tell you from the people in the know on this situation, Colorado's nowhere near saying, hey, we're leaving. That's not where Colorado is. That's not where Colorado's been. The source that I talked to today used the word bullshit on that. So it's not as though they're like ready to go. The trucks are packed, right? Like they're not peeling, Pac-12 helmet stickers off at this point. I think they are doing what Arizona's done, what Arizona State's done. I think they are doing what the presidents in the Pac-12 have all done, which is, what are we going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they realize the possibility that they're not going to get a TV deal that is sustainable. And every one of the 10 remaining presidents is going to have to make a choice at that point. I mean, I'll take you back to what President Robbins at Arizona said, because I think this is exactly where Colorado is. I know President Robbins at Arizona, I know what the Big 12's number is, Robbins told Dennis Dodd at CBS. I just need to hear what the Pac-12's number is, then I can make a decision. Right? And I think, listen, if you read what Michael Crow told the state newspaper, that, you know, he had renewed contact with Arizona State, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah. He said, quote, there have been no discussions with the Big 12 Conference on moving. I mean, there's been discussions between everyone everywhere and all related to where our conference is going and where stuff is going to end up. And I think, frankly, guys, I think that's where the situation is. I don't think anything's dire. I don't think anything's dire at all. Frankly, I believe that you just have to wait and feel this stuff out. And BYU is probably the best example of this. BYU, and I know everybody likes to say they suffered or they struggled through independence. No. I don't buy that. BYU cut their own path. When everybody told them they were wrong and you don't know what you're doing, Tom Homo and the leadership at BYU said, we're going to go independent. They wind up with a TV deal with ESPN that was incredibly lucrative, not just from the money they got for ESPN, but look at the schedule they made. Look at the games they played.
Facts.
Look at the games they won. Look at the stadiums they filled on the road. Look at the bowl games they went to. Look at the recruits. Look at the guys in the NFL. Like, did recruiting take a hit? Early on it did. But then they figured out, hey, every time we put BYU on TV, we get 1 million viewers.
What do you know?
Some of these schools in the Pac-12 are going to have to be patient. You just have to have some modicum of patience.
Yes.
Because when you jump too early or you try to be first instead of, you have to do what's best for you and the people in your sphere. And if you're patient and if you gather information and you make an educated choice, and by the way, these are really smart dudes and really smart people that run these universities, that's when you make a decision. And I think we're all just trying to be the source. And just wait, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something. The TV deal is going to come out, as President Robbins at Arizona said. The TV deal's out. It's either good or it's bad. Plain and simple. And if it's bad, he's going to make a choice. If it's good, okay, we're going to stay here. That's a simple economics. And again, I'll go back to what I always say. You are worth what somebody is willing to pay you. And is the Pac-12 in their TV deal worth what they think they should be paid? That doesn't matter. Because if ESPN or Apple or Amazon or NBC or whoever isn't willing to pay them the money that they think they're worth, they've overvalued themselves.
Facts.
Because you're only worth what somebody is willing to pay you.
Correct.
Speaking of which, we always have the $1 million man. Well, he was there and now he's gone.
He'll be here.
Alema Harrington was just in the waiting room, but that's okay. We'll get back to him. While we wait for Alema, by the way, this Jordan Clarkson situation I think is incredibly important.
Starting to heat up, man.
It is. So when Alema hops on, we'll talk about that. Let me get your comments until he does that. Oh, wait, there is a new member of the program. Let me find it. How about Meat Rocket 304?
Bro.
He said, okay, so wait. I don't think that's the name on Obama's birth certificate. Are you telling me that your legal birth name is Meat Rocket?
Well,
Somehow?
no, his legal name is Meat Rocket. What is that, 304?
304.
So
Thank you.
You forgot the...
My bad. It happened for the first time ever. My bad. I made a mistake.
Whatever.
I was wrong. Meat Rocket 304. Welcome to the show, dude. Appreciate you being here.
I'm not playing it twice.
I've warned you about pulling it out, dude. That's a felony in some states. We appreciate you being here. Patrick Boren, who used to be a member of the show, says GK has 2 offers. First is mostly streaming but good revenue. Second is more linear but less revenue. Neither will receive full 10-school consensus. Well, we'll see. I think it's interesting to see exactly how all of this plays out.
I don't buy that he has 2 offers. I disagree.
I think he's having conversations. I don't think either one is lucrative. D-Rock, what's up? Where have you been? D-Rock Irish. If Colorado has a solid college football season, perhaps more leverage on deciding to stay or move out of the conference. I think that they're never going to have more value than they have now.
Yeah.
Because there's nobody as hot as Deion Sanders. There is nobody as hot as Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Tanner Plummer, off the field, BYU thrived in independence. On the field, they suffered as an independent outside of 2020-2021 football season. But
I don't know that I'm ready to say they suffered. It's not really about wins.
I would agree with that, number one. They had moments, and again, I always go back to Taysom jumping over the Texas Longhorns in Austin.
Yeah.
That faithful weekend that Bronco did the please let us into the Big 12 interview with the Austin American Statesman.
Right.
But I would not agree that BYU suffered in independence. I would not at all. But that's your opinion, Tanner, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I view it differently. Gabriel, I think the real question is how much patience is too much patience. Well, dude, truer words may have never been spoken. Because the hardest part about making a significant decision, like should we stay or should we go, is, well, what if? And we play this game, and we've talked about this on the show before. What if has this incredibly negative connotation, right? In life and in business, and I have always implored people, if you say to yourself, what if I take this new job and I make less money? You need to turn that around. What if I take this new job and I make more money than I've ever made before? What if I go to trydaytrading.com and do the $10 30-day membership and it changes my life completely and I wind up working for myself, starting my own company and kicking ass? Instead, people are like, well, what if we go now and then it's a disaster? Right? Like, well, what if we go now and the other 9 members are all pissed at us? Who cares what they think? I don't think there is.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go too soon. There is certainly some merit in can you go too late?
Yeah.
You know. G. Lee says, be the ball, Monty. Exactly right. Exactly right. Let's see. 1984 says, isn't conference realignment based on opportunity costs? Well, opportunity cost is a very interesting word. What advantages would Arizona have by going first? I think getting into that bed of basketball hotness, that's what you're looking for. I think, listen, I'll go back to President Robbins' comments, right? Like you look at what he says here. Robbins rejected the notion, including Arizona, would bolt to the Big 12. But then he said, hey, man, the proximity to the Big 12's footprint and that league's powerhouse basketball brand as the basis for some affinities.
I want it.
I think there's real merit in that.
Yeah.
I think there's real merit in that. So I think that's why, because Arizona is a basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think anybody doubts that.
No.
I truly do not think anybody doubts that. And if you do, I just disagree with you. You know, but that's just me. Let's see. Carl Adams says 304 West Virginia area code. Hippie. Okay. That's cool. Mr. Preston says, hey, Minnesota paid Rudy. They did. Is there value in that? Is there value in that?
I don't know if you want to play him not to play games. Yeah.
Patrick Bourne, my guy, says, Monty, you have pointed out multiple times that ESPN and Fox is not going to pay. They're not. Apple TV and Amazon do not want too many games. I think.
But that doesn't mean there's a deal in place. I think
no,
you got to be careful with that.
But I would point out, that's exactly right. It's saying there's 2 deals in place versus, hey, this is the situation with Apple, Amazon, ES. Like those are 2 different things. I would not lump Amazon and Apple TV together.
No.
Because I don't think any of us have any idea what Apple TV wants. Because I know they've had multiple iterations of conversations with the Pac-12 about how maybe we'll build it this way. Maybe we'll build it that way.
Well, and I think what we heard from RSL's president when he was on the show, was that Apple TV is very forward-thinking. They understand that it's going to be kind of a long journey to get acceptance of live sports on Apple TV and get to that point where they're like really making money. So I think my point with that is just that Amazon already knows that it works for them with, Thursday Night Football, and Apple doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, I agree. And I do think Apple TV is going to have a significant reach into NBA.
Yeah.
And I think Amazon Prime Sports wants NBA as well. All right, don't forget, we tell you every day that you must, under all circumstances, be here every day that the great Alema Harrington joins the show to grace us with his awesomeness. And we always start the segment with something incredibly awkward like colonoscopies. Alema Harrington. Alema, dude.
I'm at that age, man. So I know
50.
all about the colonoscopy.
Guess what I did this morning?
Oh, good
Had a
for
colonoscopy.
you. Yes. You had probably the
Zero
best
polyps.
nap. The best nap that you've had in a long time.
Dude, you ain't even kidding. Like that, they put that thing in your arm and it's like,
we out.
Gone.
Yeah, over.
Yes.
Over. But the best news is, like I said, zero polyps, totally healthy.
Good.
Everything's great.
Congratulations.
You know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's exactly how I wanted to start the segment, to congratulate you on your colonoscopy.
I love it. Well, hey, let me ask you real quick a BYU question.
Yeah.
Was independence, I don't know if successful is the right word. What is your view on the way that BYU handled independence?
I thought they did it brilliantly because, I remember the press conference for the Pac-12 with the University of Utah, and BYU had to make a counter at that point. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to stay in the Mountain West Conference? You know, what's going to happen? And it's complicated because are you going to bring all of your sports over to one place, or is everybody going independent, which would have been very difficult? And basketball and the rest of the sports needed a place to go. So I thought that Tom Homo handled it beautifully in that regard, because you couldn't just allow the Utes to go to the Pac-12 and then you don't do anything. You have to counter with something. And there's not a whole lot of options out there. And the other options were to stay in the Mountain West Conference, or are you going to go and try to find another conference? And certainly it wasn't going to, you would love to be in the Pac-12 with the Utes, but that was never going to happen. And then because of their relationship, which was built over many years, right? The first ESPN college football game ever broadcast live on ESPN was BYU versus Pitt my freshman year at Brigham Young. So this relationship had been developed over many, many years. And because they had that, they were able to negotiate a great deal television-wise without a conference. And very few people are able to do that, maybe, and nobody else outside of BYU and Notre Dame. And this whole idea, like BYU can be like Notre Dame. Nobody can be like Notre Dame. That's unrealistic. But what they did with independence, I thought, was brilliant. And it was the stepping stone necessary because it kept them relevant in their independence to be able to get the offer from the Big 12 when it was time.
But do you want to see, and you're, as an alum, I think you're particularly qualified to answer this question. Do you want BYU and Utah every year? Because I hear so many people say, I don't want that, or we don't need that game. Or I think it's critically important to the football in this state, which is no longer a well-kept secret. I mean, there's, frankly, the population explosion here has changed that. But I think BYU and Utah, no matter what the vitriol is, I think it's really good for our communities. And I think it's a game that needs to be played every year.
I agree with you 100% on that. And I know that there's people out there that, and there was times when Utah was the one that was singing that tune, so to speak, where it's like, well, we're the big brothers now. We don't need the University of Utah BYU rivalry game. That was one of the greatest rivalries, I think, in college football was BYU versus Utah. And the biggest loss, I think, for both teams when Utah went to the Pac-12 was that you lost that every year, especially when you had gotten to a point where every year was being played in November, usually one of the last games of the season. And in that whole, the rivalry world of college football, that was one of the greats. So I personally think that you do everything in your power to be able to schedule that game every year. Not like, oh, okay, we're going to take a couple of years off. We'll come back to it. It's not gone forever. I think it needs to be a part of your schedule on a yearly basis because it's good for, I think, the rivalry within the state in a healthy way. And at the same time, those rivalries have been lost with all of the restructuring of these different conferences, be it the SEC or the Big Ten or whatever, that you've lost some of these rivalries. And I think that has done damage to college football as an overall product. And it's always better, in my opinion, if they're able to play that rivalry game and they're in the same conference. Like Utah comes to the Big 12 or whatever the case may be. I'm not against that. I think that would be a really welcome addition, because instead of trying to create this rivalry in the Pac-12, oh, Utah and Colorado, man, the big rivalry game is coming up. Nobody's thinking that. Nobody's buying that, right? Sure, it's a regional rivalry and whatever, just because of the geographic location of Utah and Colorado. But nobody's looking at that and say, man, I can't stand those Buffaloes. And, I can't wait for the rivalry game for us to beat them down. Like, it's not something that you can really sell because it's not there. You want to keep those natural, whether it's Oregon State, all of the natural rivalries that have history. You want to keep those.
Yep, totally agree. Alema Harrington, trydaytrading.com, $10 Alema to change the rest of your life. Tell me about Try Day Trading. What's a 30-day trial membership for $10 look like?
Well, the beauty of it is that you're able to get access to all of the resources available. Because sometimes, people are asking you, well, sign up for this program, but you don't really know what it's about. At Try Day Trading, you're able to, spend that $10, and we've talked about this before. It's not going into the pockets of Try Day Trading. That is always a charitable donation. So you make that $10 commitment, and you help some, charity out in the process, and you also get access to all the resources available at Try Day Trading. And they want you to be able to see what is going on. Like, this is what you can get, because so many of us are looking at our financial futures, and I'm watching the TV and watching what's going on in France, and there's like, now we have to work till we get to this point until we get our pensions, and we're all dealing with that type of anxiety, things that are totally out of our control. And so what I'm looking for is like, what can I do that's within my control? And Try Day Trading is one of the answers for that, because you can get into that and you can start to do some things that can help you earn money and do it on your own terms, on your own time. And now you're having some control over your financial future. And if you were, heaven forbid, to lose a job or something happened in the financial markets, actually with Try Day Trading, if you're day trading and you're doing, whether it's dollars or pounds or the euro, you can look at the volatility that goes on in that marketplace and get in and out and make deals, whether you're buying or selling. It doesn't matter whether people that are long-term in the stock market are having heartburn because of what's going on. If you're a day trader and you're working with Try Day Trading and you're using the proprietary software to figure things out and make your trades, man, you're in good shape. You're in a good place. And that's what I love about it. And all it is $10. $10 gets you 30 days. And we joke about it all the time. If you can't figure it out in 30 days, then there's a problem right there.
That's exactly right. TryDayTrading.com. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Alema's word for it. It's a 30-day membership for $10. That's a charitable donation, a tax write-off at your education. That's a tax write-off. Work for yourself at TryDayTrading.com. Alema, we've talked a lot about Jordan Clarkson on this show. He said something today, or yesterday actually, that was pretty shocking to me. In that he said it would be nothing for him and his crew to pick up and start somewhere new. Yeah. You hear him say that. The Jazz committed to him at the deadline. Is it surprising to you that he would say something like that? And do you believe that Jordan Clarkson's on this team next year?
You and I, we've been around for a long time. We've covered the NBA for a long time. I've been covering the Jazz since 1996 and watching guys come and go and watching guys make comments at this time of the year, right? At the exit interview, or what we used to call it, locker clean out. And guys make comments, and nothing surprises me about the comments that come out of somebody's mouth at this point in the season. And it could be something that happened earlier in the day for a Jordan Clarkson, and then somebody puts a microphone in front of him and asks him a question, and it's like, and so much of it has to do with what was the context of the conversation. And for somebody to say, hey, it's no biggie for me and my crew, we're going to pick up. And Jordan Clarkson's just bought a $7 million mansion in San Antonio, which is where he's from. Like, I understand that. I'm still confident that the Jazz want to have Jordan Clarkson here. And that doesn't mean that there aren't other suitors out there, because there are, because he's still early in his career. He's young, and he's had the best year of his career this past season with the Utah Jazz. So I understand that there are going to be other people coming after him. And you always look at those comments and you wonder, well, is that a negotiating tactic? Because he wants to make sure that whoever offers him the most money, he's trying to get that number up. And you can't blame him for that. And then in the end, it's going to be up to the Jazz. Okay, can we match that number? Can we meet what his demands are financially? And then because of his experience here, it's like, Jordan, you established yourself here. The community absolutely loves you, and you can stay here for the foreseeable future, and we'll sign you to the longest contract we possibly can. I just look at comments like that, and I think this is the time of the year that you get comments like that. And we're all probably a little sensitive because we think about the comments that came from, from the last season and Donovan Mitchell. And it was pretty clear that the writing was on the wall. I don't see this in the same light as what Donovan Mitchell was saying. I think Jordan Clarkson is a little bit in a different category as a guy that I still think wants to be here. He's enjoyed his time here. And I think that certainly he's going to have options, but the Utah Jazz are going to be one of those options in the process.
And I think he's a really, you said something there about the community. I think there's a lot that goes into that word community with Jordan Clarkson. He's an international superstar. I mean, I can tell you, if we talk about Jordan Clarkson on this show, we get a ton of views globally, mainly from the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
So he's a huge celebrity internationally. But I think he's been really good for this community because he's not a problem off the court. He's not a guy, and I think I'm a huge Donovan Mitchell guy, but he seemed to be a lightning rod. Jordan Clarkson's not. I actually believe he's the face of this team. I think one of the important questions is, how important is he to the future of this team, Alema? And I know this is going to sound crazy. I don't think he's make or break. And I think the economics in this league with this new CBA, somebody's going to throw a 4-year deal at him. Somebody's going to pay him. Like, can you imagine the Jazz cutting him a $22 million check every year? That seems hard for me to believe.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And this is nothing against Jordan Clarkson as a player or as a person that, when you say that he's not a make or break guy for Utah Jazz and the future of this franchise. Now, he would be an absolutely, a coveted piece that you would want to have. And at the same time, you look at how he has flourished in the system, and it's been nice for him to be able to make the move from a sixth man of the year 3 years ago to now having the best numbers of his career as a starter for the Utah Jazz. And you hope that that's valuable to him. And at the same time, there's going to be somebody out there that's going to come with the long-term contract, longest, available in the CBA. And, $22 million. How do you say no to that when you're coming from like 13, 14? Right. And they're going to improve that by $8 million. We got to understand as viewers, as Jazz Nation, as fans, that these guys have to make financial decisions that are going to be in the best interest of their family and that future. At the same time, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes as far as the negotiation process is concerned. I'm confident that between Danny Ainge and Justin Zanuck and Ryan Smith and D Wade, that they will do everything they can to be able to try to entice him to stay. That might not work. And if it doesn't, then I'm with you. Okay, it's not like you wring your hands as like, oh, the franchise is done. But I think you make a really interesting comment when you say that he's the face of this franchise. I would agree with you on that. And that takes nothing away from the all-star Lauri Markkanen. But Jordan Clarkson, if you're looking to market and you're trying to put something on a billboard, Lauri Markkanen is going to be impressive too. But JC has that je ne sais quoi, that intangible, right, that people are drawn to. And so if you can keep that, then by all means, do everything you can to keep it.
Speaking of je ne sais quoi, let me ask you about Andy Larson from the Salt Lake Tribune. It's an awkward transition, but it's all I had. He gave one singular vote to Skywalker Kessler for Rookie of the Year. Everybody else voted for Banchero. Is Walker Kessler more deserving of the Rookie of the Year award than Banchero in Orlando?
So the things that are working against you if you're Walker Kessler, right? Number one, that you were a lower draft pick. Number 2, that you're not playing in the Eastern Conference. Number 3, that Banchero has been the talk of the town, or as far as this award is concerned, from the jump. And so Walker Kessler, who didn't start until midway through the beginning part of the season, which is an odd, way to describe it, midway through the beginning, but he didn't start right out of the gate, where Banchero has been the centerpiece of the rebuild that's going on in Orlando. So for Walker Kessler, I understand that we look at Walker Kessler, we get a chance to see him all the time. But when you're playing in the Western Conference, and this is still true today, even though we have all of the different ways that you can view a game, still, if you're tipping off at 7 o'clock in the Mountain West and Eastern time is already, 2 hours ahead of you, and there by the time you get to the critical part of a game in the Eastern Conference, then, a lot of guys are to bed already. So that's just, it naturally works against you in the Western Conference in that regard. Now, I don't think it's any disrespect, and I get that, he's one of your beat writers and it's Andy Larson, and that's the vote that you got. But I'm more interested in how many second place votes did he get, how many third place votes did he get. This guy has put himself absolutely on the map. And, Donovan Mitchell didn't win the Rookie of the Year, and Walker Kessler's not winning the Rookie of the Year. That's not the end of their careers. I mean, that wasn't the end for Donovan Mitchell, that he didn't get it and Ben got it. Like, whatever.
Why would you bring that up, Alema? Alema, that is a trigger point for
I know
Chaz.
you're a Donovan guy. I get it. I understand. But I'm giving all of us hope that even though Walker Kessler is not winning the Rookie of the Year, that doesn't, and Lauri Markkanen may not win Most Improved Player of the Year. These kinds of things, as we look at them, they're really nice honors to have. It was so great when Jordan Clarkson got Sixth Man of the Year, to get a national NBA award for one of our guys. It's a beautiful thing. But in the end, it's not, to use your term, it's not make or break, right? Walker Kessler is going to be a force in this league. He has demonstrated that. And sure, you look back, you only have one chance in one season, your rookie year, to win Rookie of the Year. But maybe it puts a chip on your shoulder, and every time you play against Banchero, then you block him 3 times in the game.
Yep, Alema Harrington, as always, presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. $10, Alema. Hit it one more time. 30-day membership, $10 to change the rest of your life.
Hey, all of the resources available, whether that's the webinars or some individual coaching, which I love. I always shout out my guy, Jared Johnson. He's my coach. But you're going to have access to all of that, including the proprietary software, which is the secret sauce in your success. And don't forget that at Tri-Day Trading, they're going to fund your account. So that means that you're going to learn how to trade, and they're going to get you up and running. And as you get to that point, they will put money in your account. You will trade using their money, and then you will keep up to 80% of the profits. Now, that's a fantastic deal in itself. And you will know that it's either for you or not for you after 30 days. And all it's going to take is $10, and it's going to be a charitable donation. $10 gets you access for 30 days to all of the resources at Tri-Day Trading. All you have to do is go to TryDayTrading.com.
Alema, always great to see you, my man. I appreciate you. Thanks for your time today. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
There you go. Alema Harrington. That's a good dude. Just listening to him talk about BYU, and I think he's right about Walker. I don't think his career is not going to be defined by the award that Ben Simmons won. Okay, I shouldn't have said that again.
Why would you do that, bro? I mean, you just trying to light it on fire.
How about Alema bringing up Ben Simmons? I thought that was amazing. But he's dead on about Walker. That Walker Kessler has shown us the ability to contribute on every level, defensively, offensively, I think, in his ability to rim run, because that really is, I think, one of the best things that Will Hardy did this year as a rookie coach. He just told him, rim run, dude. Get the rebound, kick it out, run to the rim. Get a dunk, get a rebound, set a pick, roll to the rack. His ability to shot block with both hands, to be an ambidextrous shot blocker, I think is critically important to his development, because I think we all recognize there's growth physically, his bodybuilding, all of that exists. But I'm telling you right now, if this cat shows up with the ability to shoot a corner 3, forget it. It's over. Because if they can play him at the power forward, good night. It just opens up so much. If he can be a guy on the floor with 4 other guys, because I don't believe anymore in this league, and I don't know if we agree on this or not, but I don't agree anymore. It's like, you're my center and you're my point guard. I think you got to have 5 guys who can be amoebas.
Well, yeah, I think the best teams are able to blend the positions. I mean, that's the thing. And I think, when you look at the draft coming up and you hear the Jazz are going to be in the market for guys like Grady Dick or, some of these other guys who are, 3-4 combo guys that are pliable, right? That's the word I always use. Are you pliable as a player? We know that certain players that have come through the Jazz organization, Rudy Gobert, are not pliable, and so you can't do anything with them. But we know that if a guy like Walker Kessler, who balled out in his rookie year and really showed a ton of development, if that guy can, like you said, come with a corner 3, or I don't even need him to make threes. Honestly, that would be a cherry on top. I just need you to knock down the pick and pop, elbow jumper. If you can just do that, well, the Jazz are going to be cooking next year offensively. So
I love the guy. And by the way, I think this Jordan Clarkson story, and if you look at NBA circles and you look at how we've reported this story, dude, I've been telling you about this since, I don't know what, probably a month before the trade deadline.
Before the new year.
Yeah,
we were already talking about it before then.
I think when you look at the numbers that go into Jordan Clarkson as a starter versus a 6th man, I thought he did fine as a starter. That guy is a beast of a bench player on a championship contender.
Yeah.
If he was a Cav, if he was a Laker, if he was a Clipper.
Well, and that's the other side of this, right? That's the other news that came out on the heels of this Jordan Clarkson interview, was that the Lakers are rumored, allegedly, to be interested in adding him this offseason.
Well, and that's because he has really deep relationships in that organization. Jordan Clarkson and Jeannie Buss are very tight.
Yeah.
Those two like each other. And I don't know. I know that Jordan and LeBron don't have much of a playing record together, but you can easily see how Jordan fits into a LeBron team. And I think Jordan's best use is just light the fuse on that guy as a first guy off your bench and let him come in and run up and down the wings. And so it doesn't matter if he takes 3 pull-up threes on a fast break. It just doesn't matter. Because he's probably going to make one out of those 3 threes, and on a good night, he's going to make 2 out of those 3. And when he is flame on, bro, he's going to make 3 of those threes.
Yeah,
right. He to me, that's what his highest best use is.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, like he, not that you're wrong, but he does have 25 games where he physically played with LeBron in Cleveland, but he doesn't have hundreds of games, and I think so they got just a little bit of a taste. But I also think that. You see how well LeBron does when he has guys who can come off the bench to spell him. I mean, if they could play LeBron 34, 35 minutes a night and get a higher quality LeBron, a more potent LeBron, and then you can make up those minutes with a Jordan Clarkson, let's say, that's obviously an ideal format.
Take Dennis Schroeder off the Lakers and plug in Jordan Clarkson. Now, I think Schroeder brings a really important piece in that he can bring the ball up. But I think if you add Beasley and Clarkson on the floor with LeBron, with Austin Reeves, with Anthony Davis, you're going to be really hard-pressed to stop Anthony Davis.
I think the only thing that I worry about in that comparison is that Schroeder knows how to play within an offense. Schroeder, he's got a bunch of things that I don't love about him. He turns it over a little bit too much. Until recently, he hadn't been making the 3. Like, there are things not to like about Dennis Schroeder. But the thing you like about him on a LeBron team is that he can play within the system and he knows his role. My concern with Jordan Clarkson is that Jordan is absolutely a bucket getter. He is somebody who,
yes, he is.
That's who he is. So I wonder if you're on a championship LeBron team, are you willing to go bring the ball up, hand it off, and go stand in the corner? Because that's what Schroeder does.
Little breaking Adrian Wojnarowski news. And all of our breaking news on this show is presented by our good friends at Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. Logan Layton, Lehigh, St. George, our good friends in Murray on State Street across from the mall. Bam! Today and tomorrow, the grand opening in Payson, Utah. Check them out online at bbqpitstop.com. Who presents our breaking news? Adrian Wojnarowski reporting. Sean Kemp, the former superstar of the Sonics. Remember we told you he was involved in a shooting where Sean Kemp, being a 7-footer in a bright red vest, apparently was chasing down stolen goods using an AirTag, found the AirTag in a car, and got into a gunfight in a grocery store parking lot. Sean Kemp has been charged with assault in the first degree, stemming from that incident in March where he fired a handgun in a parking lot in Tacoma. His lawyer, Scotty Boatman, tells ESPN that Kemp will plead not guilty. Kemp says the incident was precipitated with him trying to recover those stolen goods, and he acted strictly in self-defense. That's a big deal. His attorney gave a statement that said Sean Kemp learned that the Pierce County Prosecutor's Office elected to file charges against him. And he's talking about taking this all the way to trial, which I think would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I said this we talked about this story, the baketress, Amber, on this show. Her husband and their friends followed their air tag one night after a Jazz game. Remember that? And like several people told us they have done that.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it. Sean Kemp, who's a multimillionaire, former athlete, almost got murdered over the cost of an iPhone, I believe is what was stolen.
Yeah.
Over the cost of an iPhone. Dude, that's terrifying.
Yeah, and then I think you look at this news about Mikey Williams being arrested
Jesus,
yesterday.
did you hear about that?
5 charges of assault with a deadly weapon. Like, I just, and I think all this on the heels of the Ja Morant situation, like, I think there's just a lot happening in the basketball world.
The Mikey Williams story is absolutely
brutal,
terrifying. Because you look at what happened with Mikey. He is, by the way, committed to Memphis. That's over. 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon. And it's 5 counts with deadly weapon with an escalator for using a handgun. By the way, if convicted, the minimum sentence is 6 months per charge. So this guy is looking at 30 months in a California prison over this gun charge. I just don't know. I don't know how you justify this. And the hard part for me is this is what's scary in this country. Young people, old people, black people, white people, Christians and Jews, Muslims, everybody has a gun. And the scary part for me is who is saying no to Mikey Williams? Because he's no different than Ja Morant now. Mikey Williams is a multimillionaire through NIL. He's a guy that contemplated going to Europe instead of going to Memphis. And now Mikey Williams, according to the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, paid a $50,000 bond and was released at 12:15 in the morning on Friday. I mean, this is crazy. Any person who commits an assault upon another with a firearm. So he assaulted somebody with a gun. 5 people got into a car as they were driving away. Shots were fired, according to the sheriff's incident report. The car was hit, but no one was hurt.
Yeah, you know what the difference is? Ja didn't get, right? Ja hasn't been formally charged.
And Ja didn't shoot at anybody, by the way.
You know what else is crazy? Had he gone to Europe, it wouldn't be in that situation.
100%.
Well,
they do not allow almost every country. I mean, aside from a few, don't allow for you to have personal firearms like that.
Facts. Yeah, it's crazy. And again, this is a kid that's already worth multi-millions of dollars. I mean, and think about this with Brandon Miller at Alabama. This is a kid that was arguably the no doubt about it, number 2 pick. No doubt about it. And what happened? He was caught up in a murder that was involving a firearm. Now, he hasn't been charged, but he was
this close.
This close. Right? So you think about it, and I go back to this Ja Morant situation. Sean Kemp, Mikey Williams, Brandon.
Yes.
It's not rare anymore. It's not, holy shit, who did what? It's like, oh, God, here we go again with guns, right? And you go back to Gilbert Arenas. You go back to all of these guys. And I just want to ask, I just want to say, like, where is Ja's dad? Because we know he's in Shannon Sharp shit, and they're fighting on the sideline at the Laker game, right? Like, we know that. Where's Mikey Williams' dad? Who's saying no to Mikey Williams? Who's saying no to Ja Morant? And again, I'll go to LeBron James, because we've talked about this.
Yep.
And I'll tell the story way back in the day when I worked at Sporting News Radio originally, and I was writing columns for Sporting News Magazine. One of my assignments was to investigate LeBron James and his mother because he showed up at high school one day in this Hummer. That's the worst thing he's ever been accused of. Never been accused of a gun. Never been accused of being a bad dude off the court. Never been accused of crimes, domestic violence, child support, morality, none of that. Neither, you look at all of these dudes.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you, whether it's Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan with his gambling, right? What were you thinking? Oh, that's right, you weren't. And you also didn't have somebody who would say, hey, Mike, we're not going to gamble on that today.
No.
Hey, Kobe, we're not going to go, let's get this blonde girl out of your hotel room. Hey, Ben Roethlisberger. And the worst thing about Ben Roethlisberger, he had dudes with him that night.
Yeah.
And Ben Roethlisberger's dudes blocked the way so that he could go and do his thing with this girl, allegedly. Like,
sometimes it doesn't matter, though.
You're right.
Enough, and it just does not matter. Why can't I think of the UFC fighter, the guy?
Dana White?
No, the Irish dude.
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. Duh, you have a whole group of friends. Who knows? Did somebody tell you no?
No.
But
you know what Conor McGregor
did? It does not matter.
He smashed a guy in the face in a bar because the guy didn't like his whiskey.
I'm for real.
Who's telling you no? Oh, by the way, he also threw a guardrail through a bus window and almost killed some people with it. Like, I don't understand. And we're talking about this, by the way, because Sean Kemp has been charged in Tacoma, Washington with a gun crime because he went and tried to recover a stolen iPhone and he had a gun on him. And they got into a gunfight. And I believe it, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was on video that Sean Kemp was firing the gun in the parking lot.
Yeah, I think he had shot it like into the air or something. It wasn't, I don't know that it was at somebody, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, he did.
It's probably, it's assault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He probably fired it into the air. But still, why?
And why are you not saying no? Like, I just can't believe. And I wonder, what the funny thing is? Fat Joe, you guys know Fat Joe the rapper?
Yeah.
So Fat Joe in a video, and I think this is still on my Instagram, I could be wrong. Fat Joe was talking about how he had hit it big in rap, right? And he had all that bread. And he's like, one time we were on a vacation. They were on a trip. And he had private jetted all these dudes down. And he's like, I had, let's call it 12 guys with me. And I was sitting there one night, and they were all drinking, they were all eating, and they were all fucking broke. He said it just like that, very matter-of-factly. And so I decided to test them. And the next day I got them all together and I said, hey, crew, hey, guys, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm not that guy. I don't have that bread anymore. I'm out. 8 of the 12 guys never talked to him again. 4 of the 12 guys said, nah, dude, you're our guy. You're my dude. It doesn't matter how much money you have. I'm here with you. Those 4 guys are his 4 dudes now. He rolls with all of them. Excommunicated the other 8 guys. And I just wonder, why doesn't John Morant do that? Why doesn't Mikey Williams do that? And I wonder, if you're fucking Mikey Williams, dude, you can write your own ticket.
Yeah.
When you've got that gun in your hand, and I think he's 17 years old. I could be wrong.
I believe so, yeah.
You're 17 years old. You're Mikey Williams. You're a world-renowned basketball player. You have multi-millions of dollars already in NIL deal. Chris Brickley works you out for free.
He is now officially 18.
He's 8. Oh, geez. So he's an adult.
Yeah.
So you have the world right here, dude. You're going to play for Penny Hardaway at Memphis, and it's in the palm of your hand. What is it that's missing in the brain that you're like, well, here's a gun. There's a car with a bunch of dudes in it.
I just don't think they think like that, man. I don't think that kids think like that.
What are you thinking?
They don't.
They don't. There's proof that, scientific proof, medical proof, that your brain is not yet ready to tackle those kinds of situations.
I agree. That's a really good point. I'm always going to play the science card on this show.
Yeah.
I'm here in a supervisory capacity.
I agree, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, these kids need somebody. These kids need somebody to do it for them because they can't do it.
How many of them have a no man?
No, almost none of them. Almost none of them.
I would agree. Like,
you
need a no man. You need somebody that's going to be like, hell no. We're not doing this because it's really easy to make those mistakes, man. Like
That's a huge mistake. It didn't have to happen at all. Didn't have to happen.
None of these, none of these situations had to happen. Ja Morant didn't have to happen.
Right.
By the way, I think he countersued the kid.
Yeah, he did.
He countersued the kid. He's claiming, again, from memory, he's claiming that the kid threatened to shoot up his house.
The kid, he's claiming partially that, but the heart of it is that his lawyer, Ja's lawyer, is saying the kid cost Ja Morant the ability to get a Supermax contract because Ja got suspended from the kid's allegations. So they're suing the kid because he's cost Ja.
You're going to have to prove that those allegations are false. That's all I'm saying.
Anybody say anything exciting in the comments?
More breaking news from our friends at Barbecue Pit Stop. Adam Schefter, ESPN.
What did Lamar Jackson do?
Cardinals Pro Bowl safety Budda Baker has demanded a trade from Arizona.
We knew this one was coming.
Wow.
Yeah, so Budda Baker, I think it was yesterday.
Yes.
Removed AZ from his Twitter bio, I believe it was. So people were speculating, and now he's out.
Budda Baker has demanded a trade from the Arizona Cardinals.
See you later.
That team is a dumpster fire, man. And I am telling you right now, Daniel Snyder's out of the NFL now. Right? He has essentially agreed to sell this team for $6.05 billion when he paid $800 million for it. I think Arizona's next because the allegations coming out against Michael Bidwell about this cheating, the verbiage he used, the insults he lobbed, the way he treats people.
You know, talking to Steve Keim on a burner phone while he's suspended.
They're saying that this is worse than what happened with Robert Sarver and the Suns. What's going on at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
Wow.
And now your best defensive player arguably has demanded a trade.
Certainly one of your best in the secondary. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I think since Chandler Jones is gone, although they have some youngs there. Okay, one of your best defensive players, Budda Baker.
Yeah.
The guy who ran down, robo receiver in Seattle.
Yeah.
Is now demanded a trade.
See ya.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
what a couple of minutes. Gary says, ain't no reset.
Yeah.
Ain't no reset.
Yeah, hang on here. Let me. I was deep in the internet here.
Ain't no reset.
That's right. Ain't no reset.
Ain't no reset.
You know what I'm saying? It's incredible. Tanner Plummer, member of the show, says, "Who's the no man in the Monty clan?" Mrs. Monty.
100%.
But I don't do stupid shit like that.
I am here in a supervisory capacity.
But seriously, on the regular, you have to give me some credit. I don't do stupid shit like that on the regular. Right? Like I'm not though.
Yeah, you're
like
not.
I'm not the guy. I don't drive high on propofol. I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
unless you're getting Roto-Rooter, you're not usually high.
Well, like he said, no working today, and he was like,
whatever you say. Jeremy Callahan, what's up, my guy? Says they need to head straight to no man's land. Absolutely. See what he no man's. No man. Tanner says kids think they're bulletproof, and it's just not true. It's not true at all.
See what he did there? Because it's gun crime and it's bulletproof.
Meat Rocket. Hold up. Who's gorgeous? Who's the gorgeous woman in the chair?
Oh, here we go.
You're casual.
Jake's new redhead.
Hi.
No,
I'm Mrs. Monty.
That's Mrs. Monty. I thought everybody knew who Mrs. Monty was.
No,
Some
all the new people
here.
don't.
That's very true. Well, and you are now boycotting the show, refusing to come on most days. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Monty. So, yeah, appreciate that. A couple more comments on this. Let's see. Jeremy Callahan says supervisory capacity or caretaker. Well,
damn. Did you just call him old?
I believe so. I believe so. Truck Stop Gumby says sus.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene in Talladega Nights where, he strips his clothes off and he's running around? I'm here to ensure this does not happen. I'm here in a supervisory capacity.
Do you think you're going to run nude through the parking lot, or?
I'm just saying. I'm here to ensure that things go well.
By the way, interesting. Field Yates, who is one of my favorite ESPNers.
I like how he just blows by that. You like that?
No response.
Hey, man, you want to get nude?
Because he
Get
actually
nude.
thought about ripping his clothes off and running around. And now he's like, wait a minute. Did she say no?
Get nude.
She might have said no.
Field Yates, ESPN, if a team were to trade for Buda Baker, here is what he is currently owed on his contract.
No, boy.
2023, 13.1. 2024, 14.2. That's nothing. That is nothing based on how unfreaking believable and how versatile he is. Because he's safety, he's corner, he's edge rusher. He's one of the most unbelievable A-gap blitzers in the NFL.
I was going to say, proven to be able to play in the box.
I mean,
sure.
yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So I think it's going to be very, it's not going to be very long until somebody's trying to lob that. And you know why I think he wants it now? Because all these guys know, Lamar Jackson knows this. If you can get traded at or before the NFL draft, your chances are exponentially higher of getting traded. Because once the draft's over and you get into June and the league year started, and I think people, once the draft is over, thank you, and not even on the calendar. Forget when the league year starts on the calendar. You don't really get down to work building your football program until
the
NFL draft is hit, because then your new guys are in and you need those guys to make an impact. And like figuring out where Buda Baker fits on your football team with your new rookies and your new free agents, like that's when your program really gets rolling in the NFL and you get into summer camps and mini camps. And
unless you're Aaron Rodgers, but
well, then you're just in a dark room. What's up? Make sure you guys hit the like button. Really appreciate it when you guys give us a thumbs up. It truly helps the show grow. Let me see a couple more, because we got to get to NBA playoffs here in about 4 minutes. Lopes fan Gabe says caretaker or naughty nurse.
Oh, come on. Why we got to take it down this road, man?
Hi.
What?
Gabe.
So you better check yourself.
C. Kaufman says Mrs. Monty has spoken. Gary says, Mrs. Monty, you need to be on full time. Would be goated if you did.
She won't do it. That's what I'm saying. She refuses.
She won't do it.
Who's going to pay my salary?
Your mom.
Probably not.
Yeah, I pay you in D's. Anyway. Sorry. Buda Baker is for sure a top 10 DB in the league. Oh, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. James Salty Drunk Knight says, any NBA news? Nah, bro. Is the NBA? I thought the season ended, man. We'll get to the NBA playoffs here in 3 minutes. Monty's going to make you money at the top of the hour. Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty.
Hey, Monty. CJ Vance, Buda Baker to the Niners, please.
Dude,
oh, my God.
Don't start.
Don't. CJ, come on now.
Come
on now. Although him and Kyler Murray do make two really short players.
First team all little guys.
In fact, Jake, where did you get this?
Where did I get what?
Jake is telling me he has exclusive video.
Oh, that's right.
Of Buda Baker working out.
Pick it up. Walk back.
Oh my goodness, Jake! Where did you surface this video?
I have some sources in the in what was the Cardinals locker room.
There is Buda Baker right there working out today.
Do you even lift?
Wow!
The little guy really, notice
Look at that face,
dude. Notice that ass to grass technique.
Yeah, Buda's really getting after it right there.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, Jake, really good job.
Thank you.
That's only trumped by
Pick it up.
Kyler Murray working out in the Cardinal weight room.
See, don't I have good sources?
Let's go.
I told you, dude.
Jake getting video of Kyler and Buda Baker working out.
That's right.
And I'm just curious, has anybody seen Kyler and Buda in the same spot? Because they look awfully similar.
I don't think that Buda was at Mullet Arena with Kyler last night. Arena.
Are people Myron?
Okay, that's fine. That Sean Taylor by a lot. What's that? What? Truck Stop Gumby says first team all little guys. Absolutely. Tanner Plummer, Brian Dawkins is the bet. Tanner,
guy, what are we doing? Why are you bringing in a best of all time?
Dude, you were on such a good roll. Tanner, you were on a roll that I have never seen.
Even embrace the soaking.
I mean, you were on a roll. Dude, I was even going to get you, and I know it's crazy, I was going to get you some marinara meatballs.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with savory ground beef
covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza, where we always use barbecue sauce. Now, again, Mrs. Monty is demanding Papa Murphy's Pizza for dinner tonight, to which I say, okay, but it's got to be traditional crust with barbecue sauce. We don't play in this house, right? We don't play. Traditional crust, barbecue sauce. Fire Redhead, does she use red sauce?
I haven't asked yet, dude.
And herbs.
But again,
I haven't asked yet, dude.
Herbs.
Have you talked to her on the phone?
No, not yet. We're going blind into this one.
You roll the
We're just going
the
in.
dough out,
We're going in. Wow, is that a
slather
euphemism?
on the barbecue sauce.
Hey, look here, man.
And you get the meatballs. Oh, never mind.
The meatballs.
Oh, no, please, keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure the comment section's real thrilled right now. Please, yeah. Wow.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Marinara meatballs. But Tanner says
so bricked up right now.
no meatball marinara for me. No, yes. 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 Riley O'Brien says, let's get a reset.
Ain't no reset.
Truck Stop Gummy says, Monty, don't play that. Monty, don't play that. I bet if Brian Dawkins played for the Bears, you would think he is. No, because there's a guy named Dave Duerson.
Yeah.
The late
Jackass.
Dave Duerson, Domi. He says he's the best safety ever. He's not. He's not. Let's see. Jet Wayman says, going blind, Jake. Damn, that takes courage. Don't get catfished. 30 minutes from
Ain't
right
no
now.
reset.
After Jake gives you another terrible line to bet on tonight. We'll talk about Jake's blind date. Because you just chastised me like 90 minutes ago now on the show. See, I did what you said I would do.
I did.
I followed your direction. When's the last time I told you to go on a blind date?
Well, it's not a blind date.
Have you guys talked on the phone?
No.
Have you Robin Hooded or whatever the fuck the name of that app
Robin
is?
Hooded? This isn't a stock exchange, bro. Be better.
Jack and
You just have to,
Diane, whatever.
snap out of it a little
Marco and Stevie, whatever the name of that video app is.
Did you search her on LinkedIn or anything?
No, because you don't get last names.
Did you do like
I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die.
Search?
We're gonna be okay.
You like the photo you.
I haven't tried that. I could
search?
try that. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, we should have done that.
But Hinge isn't a desktop program. Cell phones.
But can you screenshot the picture? Is this working?
God.
Is this working?
God. Oh, hello, Ron Jeremy. See, our dating expert Ron Jeremy is here.
Right.
Is it going to be? Apparently, I got him out of jail for that. How many times have I told you?
Can you measure it?
How many times have I told you? You talk on the phone.
Okay.
Or before you spend money on them hoes.
in opposition.
Before you spend money on them hoes.
Hugh Janus.
You at least get a video or like something that says, oh, yeah, she's actually real.
Hiscock.
This is why we're going to Chipotle.
Yeah.
Well, at least you took my advice on that.
I'm not going to someone's house. I'm not going to die or anything.
Jeremy Callahan says Ron Jeremy Callahan is the name. My bad. I don't want to know who's at the door. Oh, dating advice with Bill Clinton. Hey! I did not smoke that cigar.
Dude.
In fact, she did.
She did.
But I had to because Hillary is frigid.
Okay. Supervisor's back. We're going to go ahead and move on.
Bro.
I did not have sex with that woman. Yeah, you did. No, I did not. She had sex with me. It's how you ask it. It's how you ask the question. Did you have sex with that woman? No. Did she have sex with you?
Yes.
Yes. Well, duh. I'm the president. Hello. Intern, president, Oval Office, curtains closed.
What really do we have to lose?
Hello.
Okay. Okay. Moving on.
Meat Rocket 304. Does Mrs. Monty have Snapchat?
Well said.
No.
Just the fact that your name is Meat Rocket, dude. Come on.
Okay, will you turn on the Bulls game number one? Because Jet Wayman says, I got Bulls and Thunder tonight, gents. All right. Monty makes you money.
Here comes Salty Drunk with,
Hey, Monty.
the Giddies were amazing.
The Giddies were amazing. Money makes you money. Every day we give you our locks, except when I'm getting my ass rooted. Then we don't do a show, apparently. Because it's starting right now, let's get into the Bulls at the Heat. The Heat are -5 in Miami. 209 is the number. Now, I would encourage you 209. Much like Jake, it's tiny.
104.5.
Yeah, that's crazy low. So I'm taking the over.
Dude, the Bulls are wearing the black uni tonight.
And I'm taking the Bulls to win. So if I'm you, and I ain't saying, if I were a bet man, but I'm not saying,
Oh, what are you talking about, man?
But if I were, to bet you some corn dogs on this game, I would be on the Bulls money line. It's plus 170, so the confidence level is low. That means you bet 100, you win $70. I think that's your bet tonight. Take the Bulls on the money line and the under. That's your bet tonight. Bulls on the money line because I think they're going to win the game. Bet 100 to win 170. Jacob, Tyler, Monominer.
I'm simple on this one. I concur. I do think the Bulls win this game. I think that the problem is you got Pat Riley out here talking about how they're going to pursue.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What was that technique?
That's right.
Was that like the snapping alligator? What was that?
She ain't got no technique problem, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Obviously not.
Wow.
The second floor is rocking. Don't come a knocking. Anyway, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Just take a dice and AC, okay? Just relax.
All I was going to say is the problem is Pat Riley's already talking about going and getting Dame and getting another star this offseason. So they're already past this season. That's my problem. I don't think that this team has that belief. I think they need another star.
I think you got to trade Bam for Tyler, or you got to trade Bam or Tyler Hero.
Agreed.
Because I think Dame is exactly what this team lacks. And I think that you're looking at the Chicago Bulls and Alex Caruso winning the tip against the Heat. Now, I ain't saying for nothing. But I'm taking the Bulls in this game. We'll see. Again, as DeMar DeRozan throws it out of bounds.
You're a dude.
I'd take the Heat in this game if I were you. No, Bulls. Take the Bulls on the money line in this game. I really like it at plus 170. I think it's your best bet tonight.
Yeah.
Because I think this is going to be a barn burner game. I think they're both really very solid defense. Alex Caruso again.
Yeah, this game's going over in my opinion.
There's no doubt it's going over.
You're going to have to score more than 104 points to win this game, dude.
Yeah. I think you'd be smart to take the over. I don't even know how you wouldn't take the over in this game. And the Bulls are on the board. Alex Caruso. Yeah, where's Mayor McCluskey when you don't need him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Game number 2 tonight. And by the way, what's everybody saying about the Bulls here? Let's see. Will my balls itch? MYBALZIACH.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right.
Will my balls itch?
Waves in opposition.
He said,
I need a dick.
Will my balls itch?
Waves in opposition.
Tyler Hero about to drop 35 on the Bulls. Could happen. Yeah, absolutely could happen. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Tyler Hero says, Jet Wayman says, Tyler, not the hero, is overrated. My guy.
Waves in opposition.
My guy. Jeremy Callahan says, Bulls hit.
Yeah.
So like Bulls hit. So the Bulls, like it's a plural space hit. It's, Mike Hunt. Like you separate Mike and Hunt.
That's pretty much self-explanatory.
There's plenty of toast for all the butter, says, will Jake win tonight? I mean, I'm taking a hoe on the money line.
I'm playing this game. What is the over-under? What's the over-under on how much I'll spend at Chipotle for a one-on-one date?
See, the thing is you're going to have to make this call on first glance. There's not an opportunity to make a judgment on whether or not you're buying dinner.
I agree.
Because
it's Chipotle.
Chipotle, right?
You're already buying dinner.
So you're spending about $26.
I'm going $26.
I will keep the receipt tonight, and I will show it on the program on Monday.
The over-under is $23. I say over, and I'm going to give you like plus 210.
Okay.
I think it goes over.
Okay.
That's when I'm
confident
feeling.
in that. Okay.
Yeah. But that's a snap decision you have to make on site.
Yep. Jet Wayman says 31.2. Okay. So $31.20.
Here's the technique, though. When you're standing in line.
Wait, please don't have a technique. Whoa.
This is the
Whoa.
technique.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I know. know this is a family program, and
got it.
Jackass.
Anyway, the technique is: do I go first ahead of her in line, or do I allow her to go ahead of me in hopes that we
here's
split?
the question: McKenna Tech Dan's a pimp because he wants to know if you buying her guac. you buying her guac.
If she look good, she get the guac.
In the comments section, how often do you have to ask the Chipotle Jamoke to give you an extra scoop of guac with no extra charge?
Oh, I don't. If you don't do that,
that?
you're dumb. If you don't do that, you're dumb. Why would you not do that?
So here's the technique, Jake. You see her, and you're like, all right, cool, I can pay. and so you get in line.
Mm-hmm.
She says one dumb thing. You're like, oh no, ladies, you let her go first.
Damn.
Well,
that's pretty good.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I mean, that's pretty good strategy right there.
Do you get her guac? Cody G says, I spent $19 on lunch. You're a fat ass.
Wow.
No,
Dude,
I'm kidding.
It doesn't cost like.
Cody, where'd you eat though? Cody G, where'd you spend $19 though?
Was that for you or was that for two?
Because we go to More Betters and it's like $30.
Where the sinners go,
right? Like it's like if you go to Mo Betters, it's like $30. We go to the Chinese place; it's like a $9,000 bill.
Yeah.
Last week,
Actually,
I don't ever eat out for lunch, and I went over to the Village Baker to get my favorite sandwich. I ended up getting a salad.
You already know what that is,
dude. I ended up spending $18
for us,
for myself.
But that's why I'm like, this goes back to the I said, hey, did we get to that tipping conversation? Mrs. Mach is like, you wore it out.
Can you clarify tipping? I mean, I want to make sure that we stay on family program.
Tipping, rimming, edging, it's all the same thing.
Right.
When we talk landscaping on this show, you got to talk about proper edging technique. Anyway, the point is, but this is what I say: go and get it yourself because it's already $18.
Yeah.
So if you go to More Betters and you get it delivered, you're paying like $50 for that, dude.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. I agree.
Anyways.
But Cody G says Chipotle at burrito, chips, and a drink.
Oh, see, that's why.
See?
So
you got the
chips
chips
and a drink.
You got the chips.
$20 bill.
Cody, are you not using like the points thing? You got to get your Chipotle app and get the points.
Yeah, do you guys use the app?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
You know what they
You
rolled
get the
out
chips
now?
for free.
You know what they recently rolled out in the Chipotle app? If you leave locational services on, if you drive up to a Chipotle, it will pop up a push notification on your phone. So you don't have to go through the effort of finding the app on your phone.
Wow.
So they're trying.
They're smart.
They're trying.
I'll take your free
That
chips.
is really smart. Let's see. Tanner says, have her go first. I would agree. Gary says, allow her to go first. Let her set the tone, Jake.
Interesting. Okay.
Salty Drunk, don't be a hater, Jake. Get on board the OKC J Gid train. Well, you almost had a
J Gid.
I'm telling you, Giddy almost had a trip dub the other night again.
Yeah, he played well. I'm not.
He did.
He played well.
But the question is, he's got a terrible matchup in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if you look at the matchups in this game, this is not a Josh Giddey, I don't think, and I could be wrong. And I'm not the resident OKC fan. That's Salty Drunk. But I'm telling you, you look at this game tonight.
I mean, who's he going to pull? Anthony Edwards?
I don't know. That's the question.
Yeah.
Because without McDaniels in there, and I don't know, like Rudy Gobert's going, oh, my back.
Oh, no, he'll match up with Mike. That's who he's matching up with. Yeah.
No. Josh Giddey's not going to. You think Josh Giddey's going to match up with Mike Conley?
Well, who else are you going to put him on?
Kyle Anderson? I mean, that's a win for Josh Giddey. The question is again, how much pick and roll? Because teams that have been successful on Josh Giddey have put him in pick and roll.
Right.
And they as a team, they're really good one-on-one. Okay, if you played my 5 versus your 5, OKC is going to be tough to deal with. But like you look at Lou Dort the other night, 20 in the first half, 4 in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
That's who a lot of their guys are. SGA and Josh Giddey have been consistent throughout the games, but the teams that want to beat OKC put them in pick and roll, and there ain't a better pick and roll team in the playoffs right now. Minnesota can pick and roll your ass if Rudy Gobert is on the floor.
Yeah, Dort's probably guarding Anthony Edwards, and you're probably putting SGA and Conley. That's probably the route you're going.
I would probably do that.
Because Giddey can match up with Kyle Anderson. You're right.
I think it's Kyle Anderson, and I also think, and again, this is just my opinion, I think Josh Giddey is going to have time with Kyle Anderson because Kyle Anderson is more savvy. And I think you look at the games, like if you look at that Pelicans game and you look at the way they played in that game, that was strictly Lou Dort keeping them in that game in the first half, and then Giddey and SGA having moments in the second half.
Yeah.
That's how they controlled the second half of that game. Because you look at how close that was. The OKC came out in the third quarter and just beat that ass.
Yeah.
And then lost the fourth quarter, and that was a difference in the game.
What do you make of McCollum calling out Zion without calling out Zion?
I think they need to trade Zion Williamson this summer, and I think they will do that. Honest to God. I think and I don't know, you guys in the comments, I am a noted not Zion Williamson believer. I'm telling you right now that Zion Williamson is
he's on the way.
CJ McCollum essentially said, we need guys who are willing to go to bed, who are willing to watch their nutrition, eat the right food at the right time, and work hard to improve themselves.
Oh, he definitely called him fat.
He did. Well, he did call him fat. But he's right. Get your ass in bed.
You're supposed to be a professional, bro.
John Morant, what time was he in the club? Because it wasn't 8 in the morning.
Know what time it is.
It wasn't 4 in the afternoon. It was like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And all these guys that are getting in trouble, I don't know what time the Mikey Williams shooting was, but I'm telling you it was after midnight.
Yeah, Ja was getting that ass on his chest at like 2 in the morning.
Right?
Dude.
No, he had that butthole on his face. Them are not pimples. That's called herpes.
Damn.
Anyway, I'll move on.
Wow.
I'll move on.
Wow.
What? Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, supervisor's back. Let's go ahead and check
Ain't no
this.
reset.
Jeremy Callahan says tipping, rimming, all the same thing. You know. Sam Lott, what's up? Sam saw Sam at Vaza Fitness balling out the other day. What about Dixon Sider?
Wow.
Well, you know, he's a highly rated prospect in the G League. Dixon Sider, he's a guy, he drives to the hole, and all of a sudden Dixon Sider just explodes to finish.
Anita Dick and me.
Wow. Okay, supervisor's back.
Waves in opposition.
He's a draft prospect. At least I think that's who Sam Lott's talking about.
Sam?
Salty Drunk says OKC will zone. I would agree with that. Michael Peck says, I love you guys, but I don't understand how you can't like pepperoni. It makes no sense.
Get the hell out of here, bro. Dude, pepperoni is so mid. It ain't even close.
Dude, I just got a colonoscopy today with 0 polyps, and you're going to tell me I'm wrong about pepperoni.
And I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Anyway, okay. Kurt Meyer says $22.64, no tip.
No, I do not tip buying Chipotle. Even though they ask, I'm not doing that.
I don't tip either.
And I'm not doing that at More Betters either.
Yeah, that plate.
Yeah. And our particular More Betters has fallen off precipitously.
Kurt Way says, try reporting something that everyone doesn't already know. You waste my time.
Great. See you later.
All right. Have a good day.
Nice
Thanks for not being here. James McKenzie, get off my lawn.
Well
Salty
played.
Drunk says, thanks for your input, Kurt.
Yeah.
Tom says Chipotle is meh place for a date. Okay, so I think this is a really interesting discussion.
Yeah,
because Mrs. Monty can go anywhere. Mrs. Monty's a baller. She works for like this small family-owned landscaping company.
You guys want to kick it, we'll flow.
So she has the asset and the resources to go anywhere that she would like to go, and she wants to go to the break and daybreak because she likes to we enjoy Friday nights at the break because you can just sit and download your brain.
It's our local place, dude.
Just get to it. You want to people watch and watch people be drunk.
No, it's actually just nice to sit there. We generally will
we do
split.
people watch though. There's all kinds
Oh,
of
it's
people
great.
coming there.
It puts out every time, dude.
It's hilarious for what daybreak is.
Yeah.
The break
Oh,
is
yeah.
Interesting.
Holden Middick.
Greg Hawkins says hello, casuals. Well, hello, Greg Hawkins,
Greg.
you sexy man.
We've passed the portion of the program where you're going to get all pissed at us, so
it's
you're
fine.
in a good place.
You showed up at the right time. Salty Drunk says, did you see Zion pregame doing windmill dunks? And that's what kills me.
Yeah,
that's what kills me, James. But again, in all seriousness, and now he's playing the Ben Simmons card. Physically, I'm fine. I just got to get something right in my head where this paycheck, is outweighed by my desire to eat French fries.
Ain't no reset.
Because that's seriously what he said. He said, I'm just not in a place where I can trust it right now mentally. And then your teammate gets up on the dais and says, yeah, we need guys who will go to bed. We need guys who will act like a professional, eat the right time, eat the right food, and then take care of their bodies. So let me get this right. You're not mentally in a place where the paycheck is more important than the French fries. Because to me, that's what Zion Williamson's biggest problem is. The paycheck didn't motivate him, it enabled him. That's what happened to Zion Williamson. He was always a big dude. I don't care, man. He is pumps and a bump.
His frame is not the issue.
No, that dude's going to have a fat ass his entire life. That's just the way he is built.
Yes.
He is always going to be a thick dude. That doesn't mean he can't be a top 10 player in this league.
I.e. Kenny Lofton Jr. Thank you very much.
Yes, but it doesn't mean you can't be a top 10 player in this league.
Yes.
The problem for Zion is he can't control himself, and he doesn't have a no guy.
Y'all feel me?
He doesn't have a no guy. Again, another guy. Somebody's got to say to him, yeah, you know what? No apple pie tonight, fat ass. It's 2 a.m. You should just go to bed. Right? He doesn't have that.
Donnie,
because he's got an entire crew that lives off of his money. And when that money's out, they're all going to be gone and he's going to be broken out of the league.
Yeah.
And then he's going to try and do what Antoine Walker did, which was blow hundreds of millions of dollars and then get back in the basketball. And at that point, your back hurts and your knees hurt because you had too much apple pie at 2 a.m. and it's all over with now and nobody cares about you anymore. So you're not a superstar. Nike dropped your ass because nobody buys your shoes. Right? Like at least with Kyrie, America's favorite anti-Semite, everybody and their brother wears that damn shoe.
Because it's a good shoe.
Right? Because it's a good shoe.
It's a good hooping shoe.
Nobody gave your shoe a chance. Do you realize the shoes that are being worn in the NBA right now? Kobe Bryant, obvious. Paul George.
Yeah.
His shoe does big business. Kevin Durant, his shoe does big business. Nobody's wearing Zion's. There's a small number of guys wearing LeBron's.
Tatum's shoe is done all right.
It has, and he just released the new redesign of it. We'll see if that picks up. But Zion Williamson is never the hit that everybody around him tells him that he is.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't play basketball this coming summer and next year, his career's over.
Yeah.
Because he will be a pariah. He will be a pariah. There is just no doubt about that.
And I also think it's really interesting that CJ McCollum just does not care. Like, he is just going to keep it real, dude.
All right, Gary says, Dixon Sider's okay, but I think Barry, my Dickener, is a much better prospect. Well,
Anita Dickin me.
The problem is Barry's too physical of a player. He can't control himself. So he just, he drives to the hole and there's this huge pounding collision.
Okay, the supervisor's back.
What? I'm just doing draft breakdowns.
The scouts.
Prospect.
You and all the other kids need to get serious.
Damn it. Okay. Tom says, I spent $40 on lunch, had a week at work, so treated myself.
There
I love
you go.
it.
Atta boy.
Hey.
I love it.
Celebrate.
Love it. Jeremy Callahan says, true. They do call it true teeth. Stop. True. No, I'm not doing it. I'm in a good mood. Lopes fan Gabe, Dixon got nothing on Haywood Jablomi. Well, the problem with Haywood is apparently he has an attitude problem where he's not giving. He's not a good teammate, so he's taking. He's not a taker. He doesn't care about the other people around him. Oh. Okay. People, you need to pick up what I'm... Jeremy Callahan, I'm going to download a bottle of ranch. Okay.
Oh.
I don't, Gary says, Penny Ann Cafe is a nice place for a date.
Yeah, but it's super loud, dude. It is
loud.
very
And
loud
the
in
line
there,
is
bro.
horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait in line
Food is
for like
bomb,
an
but
hour.
I ain't trying to. You can't on a first date wait that long in line. That's just not going to work.
But this is the problem with hipster foodie here in Salt Lake City on TikTok.
What the fuck are you?
This
What happened there?
because this town's been ruined by the people who are like, all right, I'm 24 and I'm in every fucking place in this town.
I'm a carb-eating motherfucker.
Jenny over there makes the best soba noodles, but if you want that ramen, go to Harry's place.
Yeah, I know what time it is.
This place, Salt Lake City, when we lived here before, and one of you farted, and I don't appreciate it. Number two,
Not fart. Are you sure you're okay?
was not me.
Do I ever call you out on the Shogun, bro?
So it was you.
Do I ever do that to you?
Well-
Last week when you were killing animals in this studio with your gas, did I ever call you out?
That is that's thick.
Yeah, that's
That
the
is
price you
thick.
pay for missing 2 shows. That's what happens.
You should.
It's internal.
Wait, supervisor's back.
It's
You
internal.
should probably burn a deuce before you go on this date.
I have to.
Well,
That's an issue.
we are never gonna get out of here if we can't get past this subject.
Oh my god, dude, that was incredible.
You're welcome.
Move along.
Damn.
I can't. Oh yeah, but it used when we lived here previously in 2013 to 2015, and then we took that sabbatical so somebody could feel important.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't know.
It's really despicable.
And then we sold my dream house in Sandy right out from under me. They actually had to evict me. That's not true.
And
anyway, and then when we lived here previously, this place was lovely. You could go to dinner and not wait 3 hours.
Yeah, it was different.
You didn't need a reservation. You didn't
but that's the pandemic. That's not time.
Cool.
That's the pandemic.
But now the fucking pandemic's over.
Yeah, I know, but
I want to go to
bro.
Asian Bistro without having to sit there with the dirty Republic.
Wow.
What? How about that?
I cannot stand
That
waiting
was
in a crowded
get off
lobby.
my moment line right there.
Get off my moment.
Get off my lawn.
That we never spend more than 10 minutes at Asian Bistro. So
No, it's amazing. That's true. But I
don't disagree. It sucks to stand in long ass lines.
But a place like Mo Bettas has always had a line.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like trying to get a reservation at Ruth's Chris, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we can put you down for 3, but it's going to be 3 weeks from next Tuesday after a month from Wednesday.
But no one's going to disrespect me.
And it's like, dude, like you can't even. And then you try to go like snowboarding. It's like, all right, got to get here at 4 a.m., dude. Like canyons fall. Like this place used to be awesome for that.
Are you doing okay?
No, everybody needs to leave.
What's wrong with you?
Tanner Plummer says Dirty Republic. You know what I mean. Salty Drunk, did you having a colonoscopy or a cursingoscopy? You know.
It's my God, dude. Chill out, man.
You know.
Yeah,
Jeremy Callahan, well, you know what they say about those Asian Bistro wait times, Monty. Ain't no reset. Ain't no reset.
Ain't no reset.
Ain't no reset.
There ain't no recess. You know, Spyrus says I couldn't even smell my farts for a week after my colonoscopy. But it's amazing.
Have you had a fart yet?
I've not. And I feel great. But it's amazing, and we can get into. Let's see. Jet Wayman says the break is great. I'll be drinking some whiskey and watching the games, judging all the players silently tonight. I don't mind. You know. Brady Cook says hit the like button. Yeah, can we hit what are we at likes wise? We're at 156. We've had over 3,000 people watch the show. And we're only at 156. Come on, man.
Come on now.
Smash the likes.
Come on,
guys.
man.
Come on.
Gary says, how about Mandarin for a first date? Not a bad place. Not a bad place. I'm telling you, there's nothing. An Asian Bistro is truly $20 Chinese food. The sushi at Asian Bistro, the executive role at Asian Bistro is actually really good, right? But it's hard to find good $20 Chinese food in Salt Lake City anymore. Like a bunch of places closed after the pandemic. And Asian Bistro has actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. So there you have it. Let's not forget to get bucked up, my friends. I'll finish the rest of this. Let's try not to
Before
spill
you
it.
spill it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Buckedup.com.
You already know
Is
what's about to
anybody
happen
else
right now.
feel this way? I hate it when the can is like misaligned. So right now, the
You had to know that was going to happen, bro.
supervisor's back.
You had to know.
It's the Monty
And-
belching program.
No.
What do you mean
not.
when the can's misaligned?
The label should face opposite of the mouth opening.
Oh, opposit of it?
So people can see it.
Wow. I never thought of
I'm
that.
sorry, can you do, what is that hand motion? Well, I'm just asking. Is that
wrong
proper?
with you?
Is that proper technique?
Bro.
Okay, I digress. Buckedup.com.
Hiscock.
Buckedup.com is the official energy drink of the Monty Show. We should have not done a show today, although this has been remarkable.
Not like a doctor told me
Bucked
not
Up's
to
got a
or
brand new
anything,
product. You guys got to go hammer it. The Pixie Pump is amazing. I am telling you, it is worth it. They are single serving, stimulant-free pump performance packets, and they require no mixing. It's like those other, what did you call them, Mrs. Monty? Pixies?
Pixie sticks.
There you go, Pixie Sticks. Thank you.
That's what they were called.
You tear off the top, you pour it on your tongue, good to go. And it's actually really tasty. The watermelon's phenomenal. You can get them right now. I'm telling you, though, buckedup.com, they're in short supply. This is right off the top of their website. They are awesome. If you need a little lift during the day, pop a Pixie Pump, dude. It really makes a difference. You need it before you work out, pop a Pixie Pump. If it's like 6 o'clock, and if you're like me, you don't like drinking energy drinks after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's 5:30 and I just did, but that's not really the point. The point is, if you don't like getting that stim late in the day, I'm telling you guys, this is absolutely for you. They're fantastic. Use the promo code Monty to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com. But again, don't take my word for it. Go into the description below, you guys, and get the samples. We are just about halfway through April, and we are on pace to meet last month's number. Let's make sure that we keep pounding the free samples and using the promo code Monty to get 20% off your purchase at buckedup.com, or you can hit any of their Utah stores. I personally go to the one in Murray, but Orem's good. I'm telling you, South Jordan's phenomenal. You can get bucked up at GNC. All kinds of good bucked up in the community. Make sure you hook it up. Tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. But yeah, you guys got to try it. Get to buckedup.com and get the Pixie Pump non-stim. It's a stim-free pump. You can take it anytime you want during the day. I'm telling you, you get that after lunch. You get that after lunch crash. Have a box of Pixie Pumps in your drawer, and I'm telling you, take them at 3 o'clock, take them at 2 o'clock. Whenever that crash happens, you'll get the hookup at buckedup.com, the official energy drink of the Monty Show. The Tile King of Utah, right on time. I like to pump some Pixies.
Anita Dick and Ming.
Okay, supervisor's back.
You know.
Waves in opposition.
Darren Ingram, Pixie Pump, they stole my move. Exactly right. Exactly right. I'm telling you, man. No, I'm not. No, Darren, just because Canyons is the official golf course of the Monty Show. By the way, Darren, the snow's melting, dude. The snow is melting.
Let's go.
Mrs. Monty's excited.
I am.
I'm ready to go, dude. I am ready to. I almost bought an office putter today. I almost did it. You happy now?
That was an excellent save right there.
Are you happy now?
Kind of.
I didn't loudly belch on the show.
Yeah.
But I almost
like
bought I almost bought an office putting green today. Because I'm scratching at the groin to play golf, dude.
So it's
I'm ready.
Clearly his post.
Sorry, did you just say you're scratching at the groin because you're ready to play?
No, I said I'm scratching at the green. Anyway, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. Now, it'd be nice if I could hit an iron. I can't. But I can putt and I can drive. And that's all you need to know. You know. I'm looking forward to it. By the way, I was serious. Canyons Golf is the official golf course of the Monty Show. We've been telling you about it pretty much every day on the show. Make sure that if you need a corporate outing, one of the cool things that you can do at Canyons is you can have your logos and your business represented on the GPS screens on their golf carts. They do a great job with that. Beyond the fact that their course is immaculate. Immaculate. The grounds are so well kept. The greens are lush. They're green. They're soft. I mean, Canyons Golf is immaculate. But they do a lot of stuff. They have a lot of high service. So your GPS on your carts, the carts are well maintained. The food, the beverage, everything that you need for a great golf experience, you've got it at Canyons Golf because it's at Canyons Village up at Park City Resort. And the course is beautiful. The views are beautiful. But you have people like Darren Ingram, who is the head of Canyons Golf, who understands customer service. Oh, by the way, I think he's the best teaching professional in Utah. So I'm telling you, you need to get that swing fixed. Darren Ingram at Canyons Golf. You need to work on that putting stroke. Darren Ingram at Canyons Golf. Now, I've seen Darren swing the club. I don't know that he's at even 3% body fat. Dude can hit the ball, so he may.
What do you bench?
Darren looks like a guy who should be able to golf.
Do you even lift?
He does.
He has good technique.
Yeah, I'm ready. I am ready. Anyway, Luke Fletcher says, Monty and Jake appreciate the show. Luke, appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Gary says, we need more off-the-rails show like this. Well,
yeah, once
sometimes.
in a while, bro. Once
All
in
right,
a while.
let's talk about the colonoscopy then.
Yeah. So, let's start with what your initial thoughts of how this was going to go before we get into how it actually went.
Come on, you're not going to acknowledge the graphic?
Monty got the butt rooter.
I did. Today. So here's how it went down. So originally, the butt rooter colonoscopy was supposed to be Thursday morning at 7 o'clock. Okay, so I did not eat all day Wednesday. The last time I ate was about 7-something on Tuesday night. Mrs. Monty, who's amazing, made me amazing ground beef ground turkey, excuse me. I had it with some scrambled eggs, a little bit of toast. It was awesome. It was really good. And then the next day, you're on full prep. So Wednesday, didn't do a show because we were supposed to be just shatting like a machine.
Right.
It didn't really work out that way. So
no, there was none of that on Wednesday.
There was none of that. I started the prep at 3 o'clock, an hour earlier, because I knew I had to get up at 3 a.m. on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I went to bed an hour earlier. I started at 3, and I pooped like twice.
It's internal.
Then I got up on Thursday morning, and it was everywhere. Like, it was...
In the members-only Instagram chat, you simply said, just had my first accident.
Incident.
What was that about?
That was a brown shower.
Okay, got it.
It was what you think. But here's the thing, though. The prep was the easiest part of this whole thing.
Okay.
Making it and drinking it, I used Body Armor, and then the second day I used Gatorade. No problem drinking it. Like half an hour, I drank 28 ounces in about half an hour. It was super easy. Tastes good, goes down easy. It's supposed to hydrate you. So I show up Thursday at 7 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, this didn't exactly go to plan. And they're like, all right, well, let's take a look. Let's try it. I was like, okay, cool. So I get all undressed. I get naked. I get the shots. I take all the drugs. And I wake up like 5 minutes later. I'm like, ooh, done. They're like, yeah, not really. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it because you still full of poop.
Damn.
And it hurt me. I'm not even kidding. Let me make sure you understand this is 100% serious. It hurt me emotionally. I was really upset.
Yes, I was there to witness
Okay,
this.
what did that look like, though? Were you...
I almost cried, honestly, when the doctor came in and said, hey, we couldn't do it. We need you to come back tomorrow morning at 8:45.
And kick a person when he's down.
I almost cried. I'm not even kidding. Because that meant 24 hours. And really what it meant was it would be about 60 to 62 hours before I ate.
Yeah.
And I already felt really weak. And so I was really upset about it. And it meant I couldn't do the show yesterday. So now I didn't only miss Wednesday.
Which is why you were really pissed.
Yeah, I didn't only miss Wednesday. I missed Thursday.
Yeah.
And yesterday was absolutely me being destroyed. Because all I could do is drink water, drink apple juice. Mrs. Monty gave me a glass of apple juice, which really helped.
This poor patient.
I am not a good patient.
He's a horrible patient. And I'm like, you need to drink more apple juice. You need to drink the juice.
But
and
I
he's
did
like,
when you gave it to me.
Drink one cup. I gave it. I'm like, maybe he wouldn't get the apple juice himself. Maybe if I give him a glass of apple juice, then he'll go like, oh, that tastes good.
But why,
and
though?
I'll drink more apple juice. No.
But why?
No,
because I felt terrible.
Wouldn't do it.
I felt like I had a
But
splitting.
Does this give you empathy when she's the patient?
No, because it's just stupid. You're not. It's the whole John Morant no thing. You need to listen, right? But the point is, I had a splitting headache at like noon yesterday. I could not think straight.
Right.
I had a really bad headache. And it was coming out. Now it was happening. And so I had to buy a whole new set of prep.
Damn.
So they make you drink 2 bottles of Miralux and 56 ounces of Gatorade. And so you drink 28 ounces of Gatorade from 4 to 5 o'clock. And then all you're supposed to do is just shat yourself everywhere.
Yeah.
So all day yesterday, up and down the stairs. And it was probably 10 times. Then I drink the prep, and I just went to bed. Dude, I drank the prep right on time. I took it right at 5 o'clock. Took me about 40 minutes to drank it, and Mrs. Monty was done working. I think we hung out for a minute, and then I just went upstairs and went to bed. And I could not think. I was laying in bed, and I just could not think. I had a terrible headache. I felt terrible. I was freezing cold.
Yeah.
It was brutal. Brutal. If it had been one day, no problem. This is the easiest prep in the world. I can drink it. But it wasn't. And that second day was just misery. Yesterday at this time, dude, I was dead on my feet. I go to bed and I sleep pretty well. I didn't get up and poop in the middle of the night at all. And so I was worried. I woke up this morning. I had to be there we wanted to be there at 8 to try and get in a little early, which didn't happen. So I got up at 4 today. I was awake at 4, got out of bed at like 4:20. And I just said to myself, we're doing this right now. So I went downstairs and I drank the prep in quarters this time because I couldn't do 4 like I was done. So I drank 20 ounces 3 times.
How fast do you have to drink this?
You're supposed to drink it within 40 minutes.
Of each other?
No, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's 28 ounces in 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I did 28 ounces in about 20 minutes. Pooped a bunch of times. Was sitting on the couch, freezing cold.
We have blankets in the closet.
I
He's
took
not a blanket guy, though.
I took a blanket out. We have a big comforter in our downstairs closet. I took it out, and I have leather couches. I just couldn't get warm. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to go downstairs. And what I was doing is I was pacing up and down my stairs, trying to get energy and trying to get my bowels to move more.
Yeah.
So I went downstairs, went one more time, went upstairs. Before I laid down in bed, I went to the bathroom again. Laid down in bed at about 4:40-ish. Slept really well. Got up, pooped a couple more times, took a shower, went to the hospital, pooped again, went into the room, and they just did the whole thing all over again. Like they put the needles back in my arm, all of this.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel actually really energized. But when I woke up the second time this morning and got in the shower, I got out of the shower and I was standing in the mirror, like doing my positive affirmations. I was talking to myself, telling myself, hey, great job. You made it through this. You're going to be fine. Good job. And I just realized I was really energized. And I couldn't figure it out. We're sitting at the hospital and I'm really energized. And I was telling Mrs. Monty, I feel really good, actually. Besides the fact that I would eat the out of an antelope right now because I'm starving, I feel really good. And she's like, yeah, it's just your body normalizing because you haven't eaten in like 60 hours.
Yeah.
So it's just your body normalizing.
Interesting.
Now, I lost 15 pounds, by the way. I weighed myself before we left the house, and I had lost 15 pounds on this thing. Because you quite literally, and Mrs. Monty will attest to this, I probably in the 2 days had 200 ounces of water and 112 ounces of energy drinks, 3 cups
Gatorade,
of...
not like...
No, yeah, Gatorade and Body Armor. And that's going to piss me off. I'm going to tell you something in a minute about that. But I had 56 ounces twice, so 112 ounces of like Gatorade and Body Armor, and 3 cups of green Jello, and one Starbucks cup of apple juice, and that was it.
Yeah,
that's all I had for 2 full days in 12 hours. And then we get in there, and I'm like talking to the lady, and she's like, "Oh, you should have tried caffeine, man. That would have really helped." I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, yeah, because I told her, she's like, what kind of energy drink? Because we were talking about coffee. She's like, oh, if you just down black coffee the whole time, it really helps kick it out. I'm like, I don't drink coffee. And I said, I drink Bucked Up. And she said, well, what kind of Bucked Up do you drink? And I told her the sugar-free Miami. And she's like, is it clear? I'm like, yeah, it's clear. She's like, oh, you could have done that. Caffeine really helps clear you out. It's a stimulant. So, of course, didn't know that. And then, so anyway, so I go back in there. Mrs. Monty goes down to the cafeteria to get her coffee, and they're hooking me up. And so they hook me up, and she's like, hey, do you want your wife to come in? I was like, yes. So she comes in, and we're sitting there, and she's holding my hand, and I'm just thinking to myself, dude, I'm ready. You were trying to tell me some story. I can't remember. You were watching a TV show or something last night or something.
I was just telling him that I had been binging Queer Eye last night.
Yes, Queer Eye.
Queer Eye.
So I'm trying to concentrate on her story about Queer Eye, and I'm like half asleep, and I can't stop thinking about Brett Yormark in Kansas City because the Queer Eye that I know is the season they shot in Kansas City. So here's my half-naked ass laying on a gurney thinking about Queer Eye and Brett Yormark in Kansas City giving this dude a haircut. Because she's talking about this dude getting a haircut. And I'm like, I wonder if Brett Yormark cuts people's hair. And I had a moment right there. I was like, dude, you are so fucking delusional right now. Just breathe. And so she keeps talking. And I'm just practicing my breathing. I'm a big believer in like breathing, triple breathing through your nose, out through your mouth. Right? Like triple breathing out through. And my blood pressure was 110/60 in the room. So I was in good shape. And then she finishes telling her story. I'm trying not to fall asleep. The lady comes in. She's like, you ready to go? I'm like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's get it on.
They roll you in there, and you guys are going to, it's crazy. We start talking. They said, the lady in the room goes, so you couldn't have bowel movements yesterday. I was like, that's not what happened. So I'm talking to the people in the actual room, and she puts in the fentanyl into my IV. And she's like, does that feel warm? I'm like, no, I feel good. And she's like,
real nice.
she's like, well, the doctor's going to be in here in like 2 minutes. And so we're sitting there and we're talking. And she's asking me, well, what happened yesterday? So I go through the whole thing. She's like, oh, that's really common. She starts telling me like 30% of people and 60%.
I ain't in no mood for math, lady.
So, yeah. And so I was joking. I was like, I hope there's not a test. And so we were joking about that. And she's like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I said, well, I'm a talk show host. And she's like, oh, well, where do you work? And I'm like, oh, I'm here. And she's like, Radio from Hell got fired today. Like, she's telling me this.
Wait, what?
The show Radio from Hell apparently got fired today. I had no idea about it.
Hey, guys.
So, like, in my fentanyled out state, she's like, Radio from Hell got fired. And the guy in the background's like, hey, do you know, what's his name?
Jake Scott.
Hey, do you know Jake Scott? I was like, yeah. He's been in here. I was like, cool. And so we're talking and we're going back and forth. And she's like, you know, it's been a long time. I would have given you the propofol already. But the doctor hasn't been in here. You're like there's 3 of you in here today. The doctor's really busy. I'm sorry.
This guy's working that cam.
Oh my God.
They do like one doctor can do like 15 of them a day.
Damn.
It's crazy.
It's a machine in
it
there.
It is.
And that doctor,
crazy.
The second doctor, when he came in, he was like, all right, you ready to do this? Like, I mean, he would just like, there was no, ready. And afterwards,
dude,
Tim goes, I think he needs to work on his bedside manners. And I was like, I think he's just determined he's ready to go.
Homie walked in. He's like, you ready to do this today? Yeah, because it's my fault I couldn't take a dump yesterday, sir. Like, it was just like, I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Have me sign the thing. Let's go. But anyway, so we start talking, and then she's like, oh, tell me about your show. And so she pushes the propofol in, and I just remember talking about K-Fan, and then I was asleep. And then the weirdest thing.
And Mrs. Monty was sitting here for all of this.
No, she was in my room.
I was in the recovery room, which is not very far from the...
No, it's down the hallway, turn left. The room was on the right.
Where they do the procedure.
And so what happened was she waited in the recovery room. I went in and got the procedure. And then I just remember them be like, hey, we're done. Wake up. Hey, you got to wake up. We're done. Hey, you got to wake up. And what I remember is the lady pushing on my shoulder. And I just remember kind of be like, oh. And then the first thing I really vividly remember is looking at my wife. So I don't remember them like pushing me into the room. Here's the best part. They tell me when I get into my recovery room and I'm awake, they're like, man, the doctor comes in and he's like, you know, you're going to be sore tomorrow because we had to like push on your abdomen because you're a tall guy and tall guys have very long colons. So this dude comes in telling me, you had a really long colon. And he's like, yeah, we had to push on your stomach to get the cam to go all the way to the end of your colon. He's like, now these things, he's telling me, these things are only so long, but we were able to do it. And the nurse is like, yeah, you might be sore tomorrow.
Yeah, next question.
Yeah.
God damn.
Bruising tomorrow. What was entertaining was that he was so out of it because of the drugs. And the lady kept saying, like, you had a lot of drugs. We had to give you a lot of drugs.
Do you even live?
And when he was coming out of it, he was like agitated. And
that's what they said.
They said he was agitated because he was like trying to move, and then they were trying to.
I'll drop that.
Like,
yeah, it was crazy. I didn't have any weird like storytelling stuff.
But what were the results? What were the results?
Well, the results were I'm a god. The results are there's no issues. They went all the way to the end of my colon, came all the way back out. No polyps.
No polyps.
No issues. They're like, come back in 5 or 7 years. I'm like, let's do it in 5 years. And the thing is, this time, this is why you get a colonoscopy because no polyps. It was such a good feeling.
So what's the secret to success?
Of not having polyps?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's water and lots of fiber. Because if you eat your fiber, and that's what the nurse had told me in the room. She's like, yeah, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because she said, we were talking about why my prep didn't work. And she said, oh, you should have done this, X, Y, Z. They have a prep that apparently has magnesium citrate. And that apparently is just an explosive in your groin.
Yeah.
That just clears it all out. And she's like, or the other thing you can do is on the day before your appointment, just prep all day long. Use an extra kit. And I was like, yep. And that's, I think, what I would do.
Yeah. I think I would do an extra kit.
Yeah. Next time around, I'm going to start prepping at like 6 a.m. on the day before.
Because if you had known that you needed to do that this time, it would have gone a lot better for you.
Yeah, you would have been done.
Because I did not know that if you eat fiber, they say it takes 5 days for all of that fiber to clear your system. So when you eat fiber, and I was figuring out the other day, I eat between 50 and 70 grams of fiber a day, which is a ton. Because I've found low or high fiber cereal with low sugar that I love. So like I eat my cereal in the morning. We generally meal prep for lunch. So I've been eating rice and quinoa at lunch with egg whites and turkey or egg whites and chicken. And then we sometimes don't eat when I go home. But
depends on the day.
The last couple of weeks, like Mrs. Monty has been making like unbelievable, like her sweet potatoes with salsa and black beans, tons of fiber.
For real.
Tons of fiber.
Yeah.
So depending on the day, I'm getting like 70 grams of fiber a day. The minimum is 15. You're not, the average American's recommended male is 25 grams. So I'm killing it. And they're like, hey, that's really good for you. And the doctor was asking me, the room tech was asking me what my favorite soda was at one point. And I was like, I haven't had a soda in 12 years, man. Like, it's been a long time. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're going to be fine. Like, they all kept telling me after we were talking, like, you're going to be fine. Because I drink a ton of water. And the nurse who took care of me, my intake nurse, does not drink water. She drinks she was telling me she has like 6-7 coffees from the Starbucks in the lobby a day.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm not, I can't drink water. I think I'm allergic to it. I was like, man, that's all I drink.
Yeah.
So the key is,
did they say anything about energy drinks? Like as far as like bucked up or
sugar?
So sugar's the thing.
Yeah,
not necessarily the caffeine.
All three of those people were saying, oh yeah, no sugar. Like the American Indian guy was like, oh yeah, bro, eat all the fat and stay away from the sugar.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like I don't think on the regular that we eat a lot of sugar.
We don't.
We don't. Like we went to that place, the milkshake place that destroyed my cup holder. I can't remember the name of it. Nielsen's. Nielsen's.
Yeah.
I'll never do that again because I feel terrible. Yeah, Jeremy Callahan says sugar is the devil. Greg Hawkins says, I know more about Monty's colon than I do about my own. And you guys, I'm serious.
There's a lot of insight from this, bro.
And the reason that I'm talking about this so openly, and Mrs. Monty helped me with the numbers, but like when men go in there, he was saying like 40 to 60% of men have at least one polyp. And it's like the lower the percentage, I think it's 30% have multiple polyps. And it's a very small percentage of people who don't have any polyps. And polyps don't mean you have cancer. Polyps do not mean you're dying. It means you're on the road to colon cancer because those little polyps, and the reason you have colonoscopies is they have this piece of equipment that goes in there. It has air, electricity, water, and clippers. And what it does is they blow air into your colon so that it stretches out and they can see it. They have water to clean out. And if they find a little polyp, and they're not big, man, they're millimeters. And if they're inches, it's probably a bad thing. But they're millimeters. They have a machine that will this head.
It just pinches them.
What it does is it sprays it with water. They call it a lasso because it puts a little loop around it.
Right.
They pull the lasso in to clip it, and then while they're clipping it, they run electricity through the lasso to cauterize the polyp and the intestine.
Man, modern medicine, dude.
So the intestine doesn't bleed. You have no pain. The polyp is secure, and everything inside that polyp is secure. They suck it through the hose, and they send it out for cancer testing.
Yeah, how does your body feel? Like,
I feel
overall,
totally
like you don't have pain or anything.
I'm hot, but it's 77 or 76 degrees in here right now. I have no bowel pain at all. I will tell you that I was pooping myself all day yesterday and today. I have not pooped one time today.
And then as far as eating after the procedure,
doesn't matter.
Let's talk about my hoe. She took me right to the Super Chicks in Riverton. And she did.
But I think a lot of people are like, oh, can you eat after it? Or
yeah.
Like, what
do
you,
like, and they tell you, go eat something. Like the nurse that took me in, she was putting the needle in my arm for the IV. And she's like, when you get out of here, go downstairs. We have a great cafeteria or get something to eat. She's like, it's really important. It'll fill you back up. It'll stop the stomach pain. So I had a lot. The funny thing is we were laying in bed this morning at like 5. And you'd have thought there was a growling, snarling possum in our bed.
It's crazy what happens when you don't eat for a couple days.
But it's constant.
Yeah.
It's constantly growling stomach. And it really is, you guys, I felt like death warmed over. It was terrible to have to do it 2 days. The best advice on colonoscopies I can give you is go get one. That's number one. Number two is follow the prep to the limit.
But you did that.
I did not follow my instinct on the prep, which is always a mistake. I know, because I have a headache, right? Like I have a chronic neck thing.
Right now you have a headache.
No, not right now. I feel like $1 million. So I always have Advil on me. I know that if I have a headache, I need to take 1,000 milligrams of Advil or it almost does nothing for me. And I knew, and I think we might have even talked about this, girl, that I should have taken more aggressive steps in the prep. But you want to follow it to the letter because you feel like, man, if I get this wrong, and you don't know. And her prep was super easy.
Mine was easy.
Like you were a rock star.
And this is something that we didn't know, is that the taller you are, the larger your intestine can be. Some people have a different shaped intestine. And
it's fascinating.
And he was, or colon, I should say. I would say, man, ask him. If you think that you normally have to take more Advil than other people, if you're of a greater height than most people, then I would definitely.
It's not even fat.
It's
you know what? It's funny.
He just said it's tall.
We talked about yesterday with the doctor. When the doctor came into the room, you have to sign a form before they'll take care of you that allows them to do the procedure and basically says if they perforate your colon, you will not sue them. I mean, that's essentially what it says. And we were talking about weight and size. And I said, I'm a little nervous about the anesthesia because they're telling me that taller, heavier people don't do well with anesthesia. And she said, that's baloney. She agreed. My doctor from yesterday agreed with me. I think BMI is the biggest scam in the world. Mm-hmm. And she said, you have nothing to worry about because XYZ. Like she was telling me, because my heart's perfect, my cholesterol's perfect, my blood pressure's, she's like, you're in perfect health. You're going to knock this out. It's going to be no problem. She said, you get in trouble when you're fat if you have diabetes, if you have circulation problems, if you have blood pressure. She said, all the indicators are there. She said, if you ignore the indicators, you don't want to live long. She said, she said, don't worry about it. The being overweight does not impact the quality of your colonoscopy. It's all about the prep and how clearly we can see. And then she came back 20 minutes later and told me I didn't poop at all. So, which was a bummer. But the best advice I can give you guys, go get a colonoscopy. If you have a family history, the moment you turn 30 years old, go get a colonoscopy. If anybody in your family has diverticulitis, diverticulosis, if you have got colon cancer in your family, if you have a history of people getting a colonoscopy and you have a lot of polyps, go get a colonoscopy at 30. If you are 45 or older, you should be having a colonoscopy because it truly is that polyp, if you do not get it clipped out, will turn into cancer. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It's not me giving you an opinion. If you don't get that polyp found, you're going to get colon cancer. And when you wait, and those polyps, because what happens is those polyps are cells that are mutating. That's how cancer happens. In your colon, those polyps form because cells have mutated. So when those polyps are not found, they get bigger, and you have a problem because you can't poop, or when you poop, you had a lot of. If you have my doctor said to me yesterday, if you even have a speck of blood in your stool, you call me immediately. And I'm telling you, so many people, like if you get on TikTok and watch colonoscopy videos, every video I watch that somebody had cancer, I ignored the blood in my stool. Spicy food. I thought it would. If you have blood in your stool, go see your doctor. Because it's 9 out of 10 times it's colon cancer.
Yeah.
And I know it's uncomfortable, and I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it. We got to talk about it, guys. We have to do that. And listen, it's not a guy problem. But if you are an African American, you need to be getting a colonoscopy at 30 years old because black folks in our country and around the world die from colon cancer at an abnormal rate. You need to get one at 30 if you are black. If you're somebody that eats a lot of charred meat, if you're somebody that eats a lot of red meat, you better be getting a colonoscopy right on time. If you do not poop every single day, go see your doctor. Like all of these warning signs. And all of these things that we regularly ignore because we're stressed out, or you can't ignore them because it will kill you. It will literally kill you. So let's see. Darren Ingram says, BMI is dumb AF. I was top 1% in the military fitness testing. My BMI was extremely obese. Not allowed to have muscle. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's
What?
a lie.
It is.
The BMI is just
It is.
It is data point with no context.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, yeah. Bigfoot duck. That's exactly right. Like chicken broth and beef broth. Exactly right. I would absolutely do it. Tylenol is greater than Advil, Gumby says. They work differently. They do two different things. I've found that and I don't love NSAIDs because they're terrible. They're really hard on your system. But I've also found that, and this lady, I was asking this doctor yesterday about, she asked me if I take a lot of pain medication. I said, I don't take any. And so I take minoxidil for hair loss. And she was asking me, well, do you have hypertension or why do you take this? And I was saying, well, I'm vain and I want more hair. And she said, do you take any? And I said, well, I have a chronic neck thing, so probably once a week. Here lately, it's been like twice a month because I haven't had neck pain in forever. I take Advil because of neck pain. And she said, well, how much do you take? And I said, 1,000 milligrams. And she said, are you drinking at least 20 ounces of water with that 1,000 milligrams? I said, no. And she said, you need to be drinking if you're going to take that much. She said, it's not going to hurt you unless you let it sit there. She said, eat food, take your Advil, drink your water. Because if you let it sit in your stomach, it'll rot a hole in your stomach, and it's terrible for your organs when that ibuprofen goes through your system by itself. It's really hard on your system. So, yeah, I've asked all these questions because I'm paranoid. Greg Hawkins, BMI is good for people at normal weight if it breaks down when you get to extremes like pro athletes. Dude, I'm actually 6'3" 3/4. I found out through this whole thing. And my BMI is meaningless. She said, you're not a BMI guy because you are big bone, you have wide shoulders. She's like, if you look at somebody like you, I'm measuring your abdomen and I'm worried about your shoulders and your hips. She's like, if your hips are really small and your shoulders are really wide, I'm going to be worried about you. She's like, but you're in proportion. She's like, none of your blood pressure, your blood work, all that stuff. Like, there are indicators when you have a problem. Mm. And I think we as Americans are trained not to go to the doctor. We as men are too proud. I think we have too much ego. Go to the doctor, man. If you have marks or skin things, go to the doctor. If you have colon pain all the time, if you're a guy that constantly has diarrhea, this is the other gross conversation. The nurse said to me today, if you're either always constipated or always have diarrhea, there's something wrong. Because your system is set up to do exactly the opposite, which is to be normal, and you should have a bowel movement or two every day, every single day. And if you don't, look at your diet. And if you still don't, go to the doctor. So,
yeah,
there you go.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, let's see. Bigfoot says, my doc said I could eat light-colored Jell-O also. I did. I had Mrs. Monty sat on my chest and forced green Jell-O down my throat. It's the only thing that I ate, and it's the only thing that kept me sane. Like this morning. So, I'm like delirious this morning at like 4 a.m. I'm in my kitchen eating Jell-O. And I'm like, this is good. And like, but do I want to finish? Like, I'm having conversations with myself. And so my lovely, beautiful wife does the dishes all the time in my house. I never do them. And last night she clearly did the dishes. And a bunch of stuff was drying on the counter, including her frother. And so I put the frother on the thing, and I just couldn't figure it out. I was in such a bad place mentally. I could not figure out that if you hit the power button, it will turn off. And like I said to myself, dude, you need to just leave this shit here and go to bed. And that's when I finally just broke down. I was like, drink the rest of this. Because I have a prep cup in my left hand with like 10 ounces left, and I have a green Jell-O that I'm eating in my right hand, right? And stupid me, the first thing I did with this Jell-O this morning was slurp it out of the container. I actually, when you have those moments and you laugh at yourself? I laughed at myself for that. That's how bad off I was.
We're in a strange time.
It was terrible.
Exactly.
Mr. Preston says, I have chronic migraines, and I've had them since I was 8-year-old. Naproxen, which is Aleve, with tons of water. Mrs. Monty takes Aleve for her broken arm. Greg Hawkins, a person with your height is relatively within extreme tall end, so BMI is not totally accurate for your case. Isn't too surprising.
Yeah.
It was nice because the other thing is, when I was in Arizona, I had a real colon scare. Like, I got sick. I went to, what's the name of it? Filiberto's. So when I was doing real estate, I went to Filiberto's, and I'd go clean a rental property that we managed. And I got sick as a dog, dude. Like, terrible food poisoning, or at least I thought it was. Like, I threw up all over the place. And I started having pain in my side. So my mother-in-law got her knee replaced. And I was at her house in Los Angeles helping her just kind of manage that. We were all together there. And I just had this terrible pain in my side. So when we got back to Arizona, I went to what turned out to be like this world-leading, I can't remember what the gastrointestinal guy. And they did a bunch of tests. They did an ultrasound. And he's like, I don't see anything. What's happening to you? And so I'm telling him that. And this guy got real. And I will never forget this conversation. He said, you're fat and you need to lose weight. Does that make sense? Like, he was like, you're fat and you need to lose weight. Does that make sense? I was like, well,
sir,
yeah.
yes, sir, boss.
And he said, what does your poop look like? And I was like, well, I poop normally, like every day. He said to me, literally, you guys, he said, look at my shoe. It's like, are you on black dress shoes? If your shit looks like that, come back. If not, I don't want to see you again. You're fine. I was like, okay. He's like, all right, nice to meet you. Get out. And I left. And he's right. Like, I had no problems. Today, and I had told the nurse in the room, like, hey, sometimes I have pain in that side. And the doctor told me, what's up, my guy? The doctor told me it's because your colon is so long that it turns there. There's a turn in there. And she was like, you're going to feel some of that. She's like, it's probably your colon having a spasm because it's moving. I never realized that your colon can be long or short. I had no idea.
It's not something you think about.
No, but this guy today and the girl yesterday, the doctor yesterday, I wish I could remember her name. The doctor yesterday was phenomenal. She told me, she answered every question directly, and I just feel so much better, man. Like, the peace of mind. Dude.
You are not dying.
No. Because my wife always says to me, hey, we have 50 more years, dude.
50 more.
Because we just turned 50. We just turned 50 years old, right?
50 more years.
So we always say, hey, we have 50 more years. So I take it really seriously. And I just feel so much better. Truck Stop Gumby says fat. Exactly. Jeremy Callahan says your colon is throwing a slider. Literally. Because this guy today even went with his hands like the middle of your colon. I can't remember the word he used, but this part of your colon.
You have a redundant colon.
A redundant colon.
Which is like an extra long, and the way that most people's colon come around in like a question mark, and yours actually has like an extra loop.
So he said, and the doctor yesterday pretty much thought that that's what was going to happen. And this guy today like drew it. And it's true. You like it has to go back up to that turn down.
Yeah.
And that's why I get that pain in my side.
There you go.
But, ooh, man. Okay, Jeremy. But your butt is throwing a breaking bowel.
See what he did there?
See what he did there? Like it's a break.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy.
Do you guys worry about your health ever? Like, how much do you guys worry about that stuff? Like, do you worry about it at all? Yeah. How often do you worry about your health? But you're different. You have boobs and you have like ovaries and stuff.
Okay.
Like, but like, I think girls have it much more difficult than guys.
Well, I mean, we have an extra place that you got to go inside of to check out. But check under the hood.
But aren't our balls the equivalent of your vagina for that?
No, you don't. You don't get those cranked open and scraped at.
Well, I'm good.
Yeah. No,
you ain't wrong.
For me, it's all because I know that my family creates a lot more cholesterol naturally, so I can't be having that.
Were you disappointed that I had no polyps?
No,
today?
not at all. No, I was happy for you. I'm glad. You are genetically superior.
Gifted.
And I don't know how I got dealt like a lesser hand. So it's amazing. It's amazing to me. No polyps for you. They're like, yeah, you're good, man.
It is rather a miracle, in my opinion.
I think so too.
Like,
because I have not always eaten well.
Well, and I think he's eaten well for a long time, though. Now, I mean,
but
relatively,
you never get sick. Like, it's very rare that you ever get sick.
It's once a year, like clockwork, dude.
The only reason why you have a health problem is your knee, which you blew out with sports, right?
But by the way, I will say, I'd be down for the 36-hour fast once a month. I might try that.
I don't know about once a month, bro.
But you know what?
Once a quarter, not once a month.
My knee does not hurt.
Here, I thought you were going to say that you would be down for the triathlon.
No,
I was like,
that.
oh my God, he's going to do the tri with me.
Let's not get green, dude. I don't run. I might do a relay, but then I have to get on a bike or swim, and I'm fat. Well, hey, all right, in the pool for Team Monty is Shamu. Like, no, dude. No, dude. No, but in all seriousness, like, The funny thing is my knee does not hurt. And when we did that 40-day juice fast in Walnut Creek, my knees didn't hurt. Nothing hurt. But I'm really lucky in that, like, my back has never hurt. My left knee really is the only thing I ever really complain about all the time. And other than that, I really don't have much to complain about.
Yeah, the beating you take on the juice fast those first 4 days is rough.
But I'll tell you what.
It works. I'm just saying that first 4 days is pain train.
You want to lose quick 15 pounds, get a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I lost 15 pounds on this prep, right? And it's just a good kickstart because, like it's stuff like I love French fries. I'll have a salad, but I better have a side of French fries with that. Which brings me to our next topic, which is Taco Bell. Jake's a little upset with Taco Bell. Why do you hate Taco Bell, Jake?
It's just not good for you, and I had a bad experience. That's why.
I agree.
It's pretty
with that.
simple. But, they're rolling out this new California chalupa nationwide
Crunchwrap.
Or Crunchwrap, I'm sorry. Crunchwrap. That, is nationwide, and I was just like, dude, this is Taco Bell scheming again. This is Taco Bell saying, yeah, you're going to get really high-quality avocado and guacamole in your Taco Bell Crunchwrap.
No, you're not.
And I was like, dude, this is such a gimmick, bro. When I saw this, I was like, man, that ain't happening. I'm not falling for this.
But I will say, I love those guac cups we get at Costco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've been bringing them with our lunch here. Like I left half of them in my fridge at home for Mrs. Monty. The other half is in our fridge here in the Monty Show compound. And I got to tell you, man, you put those on some quinoa chicken and egg whites, and it is a nice little accoutrement.
Yeah.
Is what I would say. So, yes.
One other non-sports we're
fine. Go ahead.
Did you see that Montana, I believe it is,
Hannah?
banned TikTok for the state?
Yes, I did see that. What do you guys make of this TikTok shit? Because this bill that is set up to ban TikTok is not about banning TikTok. Let's just get that out of the way. Like this bill that's going through the federal government, this bill in D.C., is not about banning TikTok. If you read that, it's about them having access to the U.S. government, having access to all of your information. Yeah. And if you download TikTok, it's a federal crime. It's on the level of treason, and they can put you in jail for 20 years for that. Like this bill in Washington is crazy. But what do you? I have TikTok on my phone.
I think they're not going to be able to enforce it. It's not going to go. So right now, that Montana ban won't go in effect until 2024.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think it's going to be very difficult to enforce.
You do?
Yeah, I think it'll be very difficult to enforce. They'll block based on where your cellular network is at, whether or not you can. It's the same as DraftKings. Don't they block that here?
Well, DraftKings in Utah, no, they don't block. You can't gamble here.
Right.
But like Pornhub.
Yeah.
You said is blocked here. Like, or you have to say,
so
hey, I'm this and I know porn is
address,
killing me.
and you have to basically check a box.
But it's tracking your IP address.
Yeah.
And
or was it Arizona? It was one of them blocked. You couldn't do DraftKings.
No, it's Utah. Utah, the DraftKings gambling app, you cannot download it here. You have to be on a VPN, and that's a state crime. But if you use a VPN to bypass this federal law that may get voted on, that is a double felony. Using TikTok and using a VPN to access TikTok in the United States is a double felony.
Yeah.
Federal crimes.
Yeah. I think it's because it's a Chinese company. I don't think that.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't believe that there's actually any real risk to your data if they're housing it here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of countries require that the data of their residents are housed within their country. So if even if AWS is working with them, we have to have servers in their country, right?
Yeah.
So it's very common.
But they offered that.
They did. That's why I'm saying it's about it being a Chinese company.
I agree.
No, you know what I think it is? I think it's about having access to more people's information.
Well, and they do have really aggressive algorithms, and they are capturing a ton of information.
This piece of legislation, if you want to ban TikTok, fucking ban TikTok. Make it a ban. Okay, I'm good with that.
But don't throw like 10 other things in there.
But don't throw all of this other stuff that
every
says
piece of legislation in the
But
in
that one's particularly gnar.
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins says, I think TikTok is kind of stupid I understand why we would ban it. Google does the same thing. I just don't know. I use TikTok all the time now to upload our shorts. I don't understand what TikTok is for because it annoys the hell out of me. I get so much spam from, call girls and porn and sex. It's like that app is all, and I'm just not here for that. I will say, you said something last night in my delirium I thought makes a lot of sense. Instagram sucks too. It's not like Instagram is fantastic.
I get tired. I get every day probably 5 to 10. Sorry, I moved away from my mic.
That's all right.
Every day, probably 5 to 10 new followers, and they're all shit. They are all like spam, bots, whatever. And I'm constantly like, okay, go ahead and restrict, block. I don't get real people. None of them are actual people.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, the thing that Instagram is so much harder to grow a following on. And they're so much harder to advertise on. Like TikTok, the credit that I give them, it's easy to build a following. I have multiple videos that are 5 million or more views. Like, it's easy to get viral there. It's easy to play their game.
Yeah.
Man, Instagram is so much more difficult to use.
Instagram is Facebook Lite. I don't like Facebook, but I like keeping up with pictures of the friends that I have.
Gary says, I'm getting sick of Insta. D-Rock says, these sites, many of them are useless. I think TikTok is useless. I honestly think it's useless. But I look at this leak at the Department of Justice with this soldier, and I just think that we try to politicize all this stuff. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene's tweet on this. So she tweeted about this thing, and she, in her tweet that's on the screen right here, the dude's name is, I have to get all these banners off the screen. The dude's name is Jake Teixeira. Marjorie Taylor Greene says Jake Teixeira is white, male, Christian, and anti-war. That makes him an enemy of the Biden regime. Well, right there, we know that this is an anti-Biden tweet. And he told the truth about troops being on the ground in Ukraine and a lot more. But that doesn't make him right. What he did is treason. Yet we will politicize this kid for our political use. And I just don't understand that. Like, we'll politicize TikTok instead of talking about the crazy-ass danger that it is for kids, the crazy danger that all social media is for kids. And now there was that law that we never talked about where, and it might be in Utah, I actually think, where parents have to check a box and approve their kids to open a social media account if they're under 18.
Yeah, that just got passed in Utah,
Right? Like, we want to politicize all this shit. And I just don't understand. Like, propping this kid up. This kid's a 21-year-old soldier who purposefully leaked information, and there's a large swath of the QAnons that want to defend this kid. He's not a hero. He committed treason. He damaged our country. You understand the long-standing damage that was done to our country by the stuff that he released. Oh, by the way, it tells you that we are actually at war with Russia. By the way, it tells you that we have many, many nuclear threats around the world, not just 3. Yeah. Like, the stuff that this kid released is very dangerous for us. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to prop him up and make him a political statement, and it's just really frustrating.
Hey, there's worse examples. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well.
But we don't have time for that.
Yeah. Boyd Lake says, wow, thanks, Aaron Wilson. What happened to Aaron Wilson?
We have gifting happening here?
I don't know. Is he gifting?
I don't know.
I don't know.
No, he is not.
I don't know who Aaron Wilson is. Oh yes, there we go. Aaron Wilson gives one. We have 10 new members today.
Hey!
How about that? Boyd Lake was gifted a membership by Aaron Wilson. Let's go, Boyd Lake. Welcome back to the show, man. Appreciate that. Was somebody else gifting memberships? I'm sorry. They don't tell me about it. Mike Maples said, I'm never tipping carryout. Dallas coaching staff deserve the fine and the organization. Exactly right.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There you have it. Yeah, we should probably go. Okay, let's talk about this date real quick. Because you have a date tonight.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this? Why do you not want to talk about this?
No, it's not that I don't want to talk about this.
You just want to go.
Yeah, it's Friday. But no, the date's fine. Dude, it's one of these dates where I was just talking to this person, felt like doing something different than I always do on a Friday night.
Stay hard.
There you
see
go.
what she's like. I don't date, I don't, like, it all depends on how the conversation goes on Hinge, So this person seems like a more laid-back individual, good conversationalist,
Which is important.
She was real proactive about reaching out to me.
That's a thing for you. You need a conversationalist. What's that?
You know what we never talked about with Hinge?
What?
Matching with people that you know.
Oh, that's right.
Not naming names.
Not naming names, but you matched with somebody in our circle.
No, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Nothing ever came of that. I don't even know who the person is. So I matched with this girl, and I had liked her, and then she had chosen to match, and she knew you. She claimed that she had spoken to you. But you didn't know who this person was.
I know who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we knew because we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, a long conversation about podcasting and XYZ, and then she matches with Jake on Hinge.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I talked to Monty for like 2 hours the other night.
That wasn't the only one, right?
Yeah, there were some other. There are other people I've seen on Hinge recently who I have not matched with.
Oh, that's right.
We're not going to name names.
Not naming names.
Not doing that.
Not naming names. People you would be surprised they're on Hinge.
People that are in the public eye that are on Hinge.
Crazy.
Which I don't think is bad.
Lady.
No, it is not Sarah Todd. God bless. It is not Sarah Todd. Dude. No,
she's like married, I think.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. We're not talking about her.
But I mean, that's like, that would be weird. Where you're like, oh, it's one thing to be at a bar and run into somebody that you know, but this is like an app where you're like, wait. You're shopping in the store.
Aaron Wilson says, I gift daily. Thanks for letting me know you don't know who I am. Cheers. Aaron, I need you to understand this. It's not that I don't know who you are. I don't look at YouTube directly. We use a stream software that pushes all of our comments and information into my screen. So if I want to see somebody gifting memberships, I have to go to a completely different screen and look at my YouTube back channel. And so I don't look at that YouTube back channel. The only time I really ever look at it is when I need to like address a comment, or if YouTube is telling me, it sends me a notification when it's banning people or filtering people. So I can't see, my streaming software does not tell me, hey, Aaron Wilson gifted a membership. Let's go. Gifted a membership. Like, it doesn't tell me that. So a lot of times I don't see the gifted membership stuff, and I really apologize because gifting memberships really helps.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. It's not personal, Aaron, and I will never forget your name. But I don't see my YouTube back channel unless I have business to handle there. Yeah. And so a lot of times now I'm trying to look at both. Yeah. But it's hard to do that because we get thousands of comments every show.
Yeah, thousands.
So I appreciate that. Hey, Aaron, while you're here, can you hit the like button, please? Anyway, Jake.
Yeah.
So what was it that drew you to this nice young girl tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we matched, started talking. She seems nice. You know, it stood out to me that she was pretty proactive. Like, every day she's reached out to me. I haven't had to chase her. So, she wants to be, at least at this stage, wants to be around.
That's awesome.
So, I mean,
do you know what she does for a living or anything?
Yeah, I can look. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because that's been an important thing. But I'll give you credit. Chipotle is exactly the right place to go here. I think it's exactly the right place to go.
Physical therapist.
Okay. So she's got a career.
Yeah, physical therapist.
So she's got a career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just was like, yeah, okay, cool. Might be fun to do something different.
Gary says I'm about to head out to the Grizzlies game. See you guys all next week. All right, Gary, appreciate you. That's it. Roll the music. Let's get the hell out of here, man. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. Make sure that you get to theadvocates.com. Tell them you heard about them on The Monty Show. Please, 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 if you have not, go get your free sample of Bucked Up. I'm telling you guys, if you have not already tried, and I'm sure you haven't, the Pixie Pump is amazing. Get the watermelon. I love it. Non-stim pump in the moment. Having a slow day. Get a Pixie Pump from Bucked Up. Make sure you get the free samples in the description below on the YouTube channel and our podcast. Until Monday, say Happy No Polyp Day, Mrs. Monty.
Happy No Polyp Day. Woo-hoo!
Good luck tonight, Jake.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.